All right, everybody, welcome back. It's the Sportz Budz. It's your boy Killer B and my co-host.
What's good, Big?
What's good? What's going on, man?
Crazy amp. You see yesterday?
Let me tell you something, man. Yesterday was such a beautiful day.
Yes, it was.
A Sunday. After everything we go on this year, it was nice to have a Sunday and nothing but football.
It was the first time in sports that I didn't care about scores or nothing. I was just happy to have them on. All my channels was going crazy. I couldn't really concentrate on one because there was so many games. We had football yesterday, finals of the U.S. Open. Congratulations to Osaka, bringing it home for everybody. It was a crazy weekend, and a weekend that I thought we may not have, brother.
Well, technically we shouldn't have had it, but we did.
Yeah, yeah.
So I'm good with that. I'm definitely sorry about that. I'm definitely good with that because
That's Killer's B chick calling him in with that smooth talk.
But I'm just happy to watch football. Get up
man.
Sunday. I would usually on Sundays I go visit my grandmother. I went to her house a little early.
Mm-hmm. Very important Sunday, Grandma. Very important Sunday.
Yeah, so I went over visited. She's you're here early. I was like, mm-hmm. Did my visit. She, just like most grandmothers, she started talking about side projects she wanted to do. I was like, what? Let's schedule this for another day.
Mm-hmm. It's gonna be some Friday, Thursday type work.
Type work. And I gotta go.
Love you.
Yeah, love you. Let me go run by the store, pick up a couple items.
Do you need anything?
You know what I'm saying? I went home, closed my door, turned the air on. Well, I kind of turned it on. Okay, wasn't that hot? Grabbed my 6-pack and my Doritos. And I sat on my couch and just watched football.
It was just almost like that for me too. My wife is out of work, out of Verizon. Verizon let a lot of people work, a lot of people go.
Right.
So my wife is working now from home. This is crazy now because now she's seeing stuff around the house that she want to do. Fix this and do this and do this. So our house is looking nice, but it's also a little bit crazy at the same time right now. All I asked was today you got to leave me alone today. But she did something special. She went and bought the man cave a scoreboard. She went and bought these curtains that look like the basketball court. Like she really did it real sportsy for me. So big shout out to my wife. And I was able to relax in the sports cave yesterday, in the man cave yesterday and watch sports. And that was a great feeling, man. And again, it got to the point where we got a little nervous where, this may not come.
Yeah, the NFL, everybody has had the worst plan to get going, which we've talked about before.
Yes.
Luckily, certain stadiums had people like the Texans and Chiefs had some people in there.
Yeah, they allowed the Chiefs to have some. I think it was 20,000 capacity.
Yeah,
like that.
And they got booed for just standing with their arms locked.
That surprised me. That little, because everybody in the world by now, if you know the climate of our nation, you know why people are kneeling now.
It's the Midwest.
You got me there.
That's the. I ain't talking about the Ohio Midwest. That's the borderline
culture of the Midwest.
Yeah, that Midwest. But then you saw other games like Tampa, New Orleans. Everybody else didn't really have fans in the stadium,
right?
So made it weird.
It did, especially when those big time places like you already named New Orleans, the places that we know are always packed and loud. Yeah. It did make it a little bit weird.
Now I did like how New Orleans did kind of put in some crowd music in there or some crowd reaction, try to give kind of like what the NBA is doing. But it's still just a little weird. But
how do you like about hearing the actual chatter on the field now? There's a lot of curses is out there and just how the players are communicating. Because we hear all that stuff now. The way the refs are communicating with the players. The way the coaches are communicating with the players now. So how do you like hearing that, being able to hear that noise?
It's interesting. It's definitely interesting. Playing sports, playing football, I understand the chatter because,
Right.
It's always out there. I just think it's a new dimension to the game. I wonder how much of it they're going to let go through because, like you said, there's a lot of cussing.
It's a lot of cursing in football. It damn near every sentence is a curse.
Yeah, it's a lot of cussing.
I can't wait to see the adjustments they make next because I know they are. It was that much cursing this week.
Yeah. I'm saying and we're not talking about cable TV. This was a lot of regular TV,
Channel 4.
Local channels.
Right,
Yeah,
Channel 4.
yeah, you know what I'm saying. So that was interesting that they allowed that much to go on.
Mm-hmm.
But it was just a nice weekend. We'll talk about some of the key games. Well, it's weekend. I guess all the games are key games. There's also we'll talk about the NBA.
Hold up, I don't know. I think we'll get to it. That Dallas and Rams game. I think that we're gonna realize how important that was as we go into the season. We'll get into that later. It was a big game.
It was a big game.
For a first game of the year, conference and things like that, it was big. It was kind of big.
I think they're big games, but I think what we're going to see is how coaches and players adjust next week.
Yes. It's going to be very interesting.
To week ones. We're also going to talk about the NBA. We got a game 7 tomorrow.
Got a game 7. What's better than a game 7? We got a game 7 tomorrow. I don't know
Not
what the hell
much.
is wrong with the Clippers, but we do have a game 7 tomorrow.
I don't think there's nothing wrong with the Clippers. I think, in my personal opinion, we'll get to more. I think a lot of people underestimated the Nuggets. I think because we look at the Nuggets, they don't have that superstar that we like. Oh, the Clippers should take care of them. But what we said a couple weeks ago, the Nuggets are kind of like what the Warriors was a couple years ago, an up and coming team, but they're a team.
It got brought up in the coach. It was everything was drafted, no free agents. So your little bit of baggage that you come in with, we don't have to deal with that. We all grew up together. We all came up together.
Yeah. So it's a little different. Lakers to get a day or two of rest. But then we also tomorrow have a game 1 of the Eastern Conference Finals.
Yes, a big time game
of the Heat and the Celtics.
Good game, that shit.
And we'll talk about that too. The Big Ten. Once again, I think
they want to go back to the table.
I think they're folding under the pressure that everybody else is playing. Justin Fields has really been a big cause of that. But Ohio State, they do lose Sean Wade this year because he opted out yesterday. So we'll see. I wonder if we do play how big that affects the secondary.
How many of the Buckeyes will choose to opt out?
Because they got 2 so far. I think the other guy's not somebody really big, but he was the bigger name.
I am surprised that they are willing to go back to the table.
I think they got themselves made a fool looked up. I think they was convinced everybody else was going to fold, and nobody else did.
And what was weird, particularly about the Big Ten, is all those states are playing high school, but you mean to tell me the colleges? I think that's what, especially Ohio.
That's what killed it.
Especially Ohio, like that could really make an Ohio State player mad, turning on the TV stand. But all the high schools are loaded.
Yeah.
Packs, the crowd is packed and everything. But you mean to tell me us, the Buckeyes, is not going to suit up Saturday? That was a pretty hard pill to swallow right there.
Yeah, 100%. 100%. So on that note, we're going to take a quick break.
Let's go.
And then we'll be back.
Monday Night Football is back. Let's go, Giants.
Let's go Saquon Barkley for my fantasy league. But anyway.
That too.
Yeah, but we'll be right back.
Nervous. Please don't shoot me. Please don't shoot me, I'm kinda nervous. What's the matter, officer? Was I swerving? Is my registration and my insurance? My hands are up, I'm not resisting, I'm just nervous. I'm just nervous. I'm just nervous. Man, I've been against the odds my whole life. I'm in the gray, ain't no protection in that black and white. It's like they take aim, I'm trying to live a long life. I gotta make it home, I'm cooking chicken fried rice. It's like I gotta pray to go to the mailbox. The hood ain't killing us no more, it's the damn cops. And we can't fire back with no damn blocks. Social media's the station that the devil watch. I'm getting older, y'all, my eyes opened up. Flashing lights in the mirror got me clenching up. I'm not even riding dirty and I'm trying to tuck. I hope he's cool and understanding I'm in due for luck. Not everyone's a bad one, the ratio is bad. I think of death when I put my hands on that dash. Thinking if I blink flash, will he start to blast? I'm just nervous, I hope this day ain't my last. Please don't shoot me, I'm kinda nervous. What's the matter, officer? Was I swerving? Is my registration and my insurance? My hands are up, I'm not resisting, I'm just nervous. I'm just nervous. I'm just nervous. I'm just nervous.
Smooth. I get nervous when they pull me over, even though I got my L's. When they run that 50, tuck that pack in case I go to jail. Future might have came back, or my past is here to haunt me. Heart beating so fast, if I move my ass, they gonna pop me. Nervous now, I'm in my 30s. Police out here packing 40s. Will I live the 50, 60 days in? It's mandatory. Nervous about this category. Drop the guns, pick up your fist. People don't dance no more. All they do is this. Take a lot of drugs to lose grip of reality. Nervous by the slug, I might catch and be a casualty. Everybody after me, cause I'm running after bags. Beep beep, I'm a road runner. Making moves and clocking cash. Might get lit and show my ass. Nervous when I see them lights. I feel just like Tipton felt when he got swooped at Northern Lights. Yeah, I made that sacrifice and did just good right for a purpose. Look both ways before I cross the street because a brother nervous.
Please don't shoot me, I'm kinda nervous. What's the matter, officer? Was I swerving? Is my registration and my insurance? My hands are up, I'm not resisting, I'm just nervous. I'm just nervous. I'm just nervous. I'm just nervous. Please don't shoot me, I'm kinda nervous. What's the matter, officer? Was I swerving? Is my registration and my insurance? My hands are up, I'm not resisting, I'm just nervous. I'm just nervous. I'm just nervous. I'm just nervous.
Hey, welcome back to the Sportz Budz. Your boy Killer B with my man L. Dre.
Yes.
And we'll get started with talking about the big thing this weekend. That's NFL football.
Yeah.
And there was some Kansas City and the Texans. They started their opening season last Thursday.
Yep.
Typical Kansas City football. They won 34-20.
Mm-hmm.
You could tell Deshaun Watson was missing DeAndre Hopkins.
Yes, I don't know what the hell coach and the GM was thinking about over there in Texas to get away for a young player to have a favorite receiver. That was not a smart move to break them up early. That was not a smart move to me.
Yeah, there's rumors that I guess that there was a beef between Bill Bradley and Hopkins.
Mm-hmm, DeAndre Hopkins.
Yeah, and so that which led to his trade. Kyler Murray saying thank you.
Right.
But that game just, I think Kansas City the last few years, it almost feels like getting a lead on them don't mean nothing.
And sometimes you got to be careful about trading away players because sometimes you think about this is a great player and things like that. But you can tell DeAndre Hopkins is more than that. He was more than that to the Texans. They looked like they was missing that locker room spirit that he brings, that energy of, no, we'll make it out of this. We will get the first down. These are reliable hands that you can count on. It looked like he missed that.
There's some teams that could do receiver by committee.
Right.
And And if you could do that, great.
Mm-hmm.
The Patriots has done that for years.
Veterans.
My Eagles has kind of done it the last few years. There's
Right.
teams that you could do.
Green Bay.
And
we're naming teams that's all have a at the helm. They have a veteran.
Veteran quarterback.
That's the common denominator. The Texans is still.
Well, Winston Watts is about in the same age group. They came out about maybe a year or two ago. Wentz.
From Philadelphia. Yes.
But they still do the receivers by committee.
True.
But when you, like you said, with Deshaun Watson, he always had Hopkins.
Mm-hmm.
And when you have a dynamic receiver like that, and you just take that away, you give me nothing to replace that.
Mm-hmm.
It shows.
And when you do that, because DeAndre Hopkins was the number one receiver.
Right.
Now you asking all these number two receivers to step up to be a number one. Will Fuller, great receiver. He had most of the yards for the Texans. Great receiver.
But he's a number two.
He's a number two.
He's a number
He's
two.
not a number one. He's not going to be the reliable hands you need going down the field.
He's a guy who might have one great season.
Right.
And you might think he could be a number one, but when you get him in there, you realize, okay.
Yeah, when you get in the heat of the battle, you'll realize these ain't the DeAndre Hopkins hands that I need.
Right. So there's that. Packers and the Vikings. Aaron Rodgers looked like Aaron Rodgers.
Aaron Rodgers looked good yesterday, doing it just like we talking about with the committee. The running game was good yesterday.
Yeah,
Williams did very good yesterday for Aaron Rodgers, and I think that's exactly what he needs to take some of that stuff off of his shoulders.
I also think he's motivated because they drafted Jordan Love in the first round.
Mm-hmm. And they saying right now in practice that he's not even looking like that first round. So you can see right now how Aaron Rodgers is not even worried about that pick anymore.
I wouldn't be either, but I'll still be upset because in the first round you could have got me. There's a lot of receivers last year.
A receiver, or get me some more protection on the offensive line.
Something.
You get what I'm saying? So
Yeah, something.
But Aaron Rodgers looked good yesterday.
He looked really good, especially when you look at KC, who had the last pick. They got what was the running back from LSU? Hilaire Claire.
Hilaire Claire.
Yeah, he looked great in that Thursday night game.
Yes, he did.
I could have. Aaron Rodgers could have used that. KC don't need no more weapons.
They really don't. And to get that weapon, because the running back had opted out. The starting running back that won the Super Bowl with the Williams.
Williams,
like
yeah.
He opted out because of the COVID. So to get that gem right there, and that kid looked like he been playing for Kansas City for the last 5 years. He just rolled with it.
Yeah, we got that type of offense.
Mm-hmm.
If you're a playmaker, I think it's just made for you.
And you giving Kansas City Chiefs a 150-yard runner is almost now like they're cheating.
Oh yeah.
With those weapons and McHolmes and Andy Reid calling them plays, now you give him a running back that's for sure 150 yards that you have to worry about, and bring those safeties up and let those wide receivers do what they got to do. Now you got a problem. Now you almost call it cheating.
Yeah. In this game, I'm going to talk about, this is a shout out to the owner of WTMH Radio, George Quinn. Those Browns looking like Brown. Well, yeah, they look like what Odell Beckham likes to get done to him on the weekends.
You give a shout out to George, and I give a shout out to my boy Fred. He's a big time Browns fan. He's always talking junk on Facebook. And what can you say now?
Nothing. 38-6 is what you say.
I wrote this question down for you, and getting ready for today. Is it time for the Cleveland Browns to start considering maybe that quarterback is not it? Maybe it won't be Baker. Baker may not be the quarterback we thought he was.
If this was 15 years ago, I'll tell you no.
Okay.
But since we're in the era of you got to produce right now, this is year 3 or 4?
Yeah.
So.
And you got Trevor Lawrence back there just waiting, already wearing some type of orange already anyway.
I think if Baker wasn't so vocal about how he went about his business since he's been in the league, I could almost say, it's the Cleveland Browns. He's going to need about 5 years.
And what's sad is you got, while the Browns is playing, you got these commercials that come on of Baker. And then it goes back to the game and he's playing horrible. It does not make sense to me.
And also, too, now that I think about it, if this was the Browns 10, 15 years ago, the Browns 10, 15 years ago probably had one decent offensive player. You got Jarvis Landry. I mean, in a good, he's a top 10 receiver.
Yes, he is.
Odell Beckham Jr., who a couple years ago was in that conversation as the best receiver. Injuries the last couple years. Njoku as a tight end.
Made some key catches yesterday. I had him on the fantasy. Big shout out to Njoku.
The other tight end they just signed this offseason, I can't think of his name, but he was real big too. Kareem Hunt.
You got Kareem Hunt and Chubb back there.
And Chubb.
What's the problem?
I feel like they have put an offense together that you should thrive in, because what you should do is just get the ball out your hands and get into your playmakers.
Why? This is what I don't understand with young quarterbacks. That's not really the best throwers, and we'll get to this when it comes to Dak later on. If you have a running game, use that to make the wide receivers more open. Because you don't have the most accurate thrower back there, right? So you need your wide receivers to have a little bit more separation. The only way to do that is to have them going off this play action. And you have the running backs to do that. Why they're not using that, I have no idea.
And you can't, and we can look at this game. On the other side of the ball is Lamar Jackson.
Yeah.
I need people to stop saying this man can't throw the football.
He can't. But what I just said, what they do for Baltimore is what I just suggested they should do for Cleveland and Dallas.
This is the reason
He's not the best thrower. He's not. He can't throw.
No,
but when you have a good running back and you're worried about me and those cornerbacks and those safeties are coming up, now it makes my wide receiver wide open, so it makes it seem like I can throw the ball. He can't. He's not the best thrower.
I'm not saying he's the best thrower,
but after that running game they got between him and the running backs, and I got to give Harbaugh some credit, because just the drawing up of those plays, it makes it look like he can throw.
Hey, I'll take it, but that's a good coach.
Yes,
that's a good coach.
It is.
Just to say, put your player in a position, especially a young quarterback, because that gives him confidence to throw the ball.
Yes.
He was 20-25. I think he had almost 300, maybe just under 300 yards, and a couple touchdowns. You had J.K. Dobbins.
And more importantly, no interceptions.
No interceptions, no no fumbles, I don't believe. J.K. Dobbins looked decent.
Looking strong.
Looked
like
he only had like 30
He didn't look like he was playing with the NFL, man. It looked like he still thought to himself, "Oh, this ain't gonna be no problem."
Yeah, I mean, he didn't have that many yards, but
he still ran tough.
He ran tough.
He still. I like when I first see those young running backs in the league when they first be their first year. I would like to see when you fall forward. And J.K. Dobbins just always fell forward.
He always fell forward. And it's funny. You knew the year he came out in the draft, for Ohio State running back to get 2,000 yards rushing in a season, and he was a late second round pick. Says a lot. But he had a good game. You still got Mark Ingram. Ingram didn't play, so did he? Anyways, they had a good game. The defense is still there.
Ingram did play yesterday.
Okay, that's what I'm thinking. Oh, maybe it was reading a different game, but the defense is still there, still stout. The hallmark of a Baltimore Ravens team.
Yes.
I still say watching yesterday as right now, it's still between them and KC. But the Browns, you had the first year. It was what was it? The coach, the black coach, they had the first year.
What in the last 3 or 4 years they done went through so many.
But who's Hugh Jackson?
Hugh Jackson.
Last year was Freddie Kitchens. Now you got this third guy. So that's 3 different coaches now, Baker. And you're not doing that. Freddie was your guy last year.
And I'm paying attention to Baker Mayfield yesterday. I looked a lot. I like looking at his feet, because when his feet is set, he's usually a good thrower. And yesterday they was excited. He had the happy feet, and you can tell those wider throws was off. I do want to give him a little bit of credit. It looked like he did calm down in the second half, though. It looked like he did, but by then, Baltimore was already into their role. And once they're in that role, the defense, I don't care what type of defense you're, it's going to be hard to stop, because now you don't know who's about to get the ball. True.
This game yesterday hurt my feelings. Since I talked about Georgia State, I have to talk about mine. The Eagles and
oh yeah, you are a big time Eagle fan. Yeah.
And the Washington Football Club or team,
yeah.
whatever they're called.
Shout out to Coach Robert yesterday. The team, the NFL team from Washington.
That's what they're the NFL team from Washington. They don't got a name no more.
The crazy, before this thing happened, I didn't like calling them the name they had since the protesting and all that started. And that's the name I gave him, the NFL team from Washington. And to know that's the real name of them now, I think Snyder owed me some bread.
You probably do.
He owed me some bread. This is on recording here on WTMH. I am recorded saying they should be called the NFL team from Washington, and that's what they call. Go, Mr. Snyder, send me my check.
the first half, my Eagles looked like we're going to the Super Bowl. Carson Wentz looked good. Over 200 yards passing. Oh, this is going to be great. He threw a pick. And then all of a sudden, Dwayne Haskins looked like he's been in NFL quarterback for 10 years. Threw a couple touchdown passes, had a couple runs. As a fan of Dwayne Haskins, I did like the look of his growth. And to hear that he was the one giving the halftime speech.
He looks very mature, looks very calm and poised, something that, usually rough to deal with a young quarterback. So for him to have that this early, looks very good.
He had a couple throws that, maybe he just took a second. They probably would have had more points. But to hear that he was the one who gave the halftime speech, when they showed him on the sidelines, he was over there with the defense. It's like, okay, he's looking like he's making the steps in the right direction. He's over there talking to Alex Smith and the other backup quarterback. So, but this was a game where also I will have to say, the football team from Washington, their D line,
it's tough.
If they play if that's what we're about to see for the rest of the year, that is going to be a hard pill to swallow.
And you're going to need that with Haskins. You want to have something to keep the games close, to give him a chance at the end of the game with that young quarterback. So to have that defense stout and that defensive line just like that, making plays like that always give him a chance 3-7 a touchdown away from getting us the W.
Yeah, because Chase Young looked good. He looked real good. Had a sack.
McLaurin played good. I like the receiver McLaurin.
He played good, but that defensive line, Sweat, Kerrigan, I think 2 or 3 sacks last year. And I thought he was supposed to be just a positional down type D, and he was playing the whole game. They really looked good. Carson Wentz made some bad decisions.
He did.
Made some bad throws, held the ball too long, I think the offensive line is responsible for half the sacks. The other half is Carson Wentz. I'm also going to call out Doug Peterson. Is because at some point in time, you got to start calling better plays. They're blitzing. They're coming. You need to leave them back in there, maybe to chip a block, something.
Or how about this? This is the best way to slow down the linebacker. How about a screen?
A couple screens.
You have good receivers that you could do a little screen here or a running back screen to slow
them down.
Those linebackers down.
There was no adjustments made. You saw Washington made adjustments, and they also fed off the momentum they got off of interceptions. They actually scored off interceptions, which is very important. I think it was very good also for Haskins, to get those. I think that helped him too. Okay, we got some points to the board. We got another point. We got some more. Now they took the lead, so it just steamrolled from there. It was just a bad game. It was just a real now.
But I don't think it's one of those games. I'm high on Wentz.
I'm very high on
saw
Wentz too.
him yesterday. It takes about 2 years to get off the ACL injury. I know what the doctor said. You be back in 4 to 6 weeks. Medically, that's true. But for me to feel confident back on this leg, it takes about 2 years.
2 years.
And you saw towards the end of last year, Wentz started looking like the Wentz they drafted.
Yeah.
So I understand they lost yesterday.
It's one game.
But if I was you, I still wouldn't.
No, I'm still high on Wentz. It was just a bad game.
It was just a bad game, and it just happened to be the first game.
And I'm gonna give this the same. Notation that I give the NBA with the bubble. This is weird. It's a weird year.
It is. Even more weirder seeing a football field empty.
And no preseason.
What was that last night? Rants.
Yeah.
Brand new. Just got it. Brand new. $5 billion, and empty. Woo.
Yeah. I know those owners are like, man,
Woo.
How am I gonna get my money back?
How am I gonna get my money back? Just spent it. $5 billion. Maybe some people don't understand. I didn't say million. It's a B. It's a B. That's a whole other zero for him.
Yeah.
And to have that investment and then to look across your investment and see empty.
You ain't making no money off of concession stand, tickets, parking.
And all they keep showing on each commercial break of how nice it looks, all the new stuff that just was built
that nobody's playing with,
that nobody's able to see or go in there and pay for. Wow.
Whew, yeah. And you wonder why the Rams jersey's so ugly? That's why, because they spent $5 billion on the stadium.
You think so? I like the. First of all, shout out to Roosevelt High School. I think we should the Rams uniform, put the horse on the side of that helmet, and I think that's the look we should look for. I liked the Rams uniform yesterday. I liked it was a little shine off the numbers that I thought was official. That blue and gold looked nice yesterday. You don't think so?
I don't know. I love the color blue.
On top of the stadium and everything, it looked bad empty.
Yeah,
uniforms would have helped if somebody was sitting.
You're probably right. You're probably right. I would have saw a couple fans.
You ever try on a haircut? I mean, a new outfit with no haircut?
Oh, yeah.
And you be like, yo, why does it look a little off? And then you put the haircut, and now you put the outfit back on, and now it looks brand new. That's what they look like yesterday.
Yeah.
They look like a team with brand new clothes with no haircut.
That's a good point.
I just came up with that, y'all.
Hey, that's a good one. I'm not gonna run through all the games. The other big comeback game was the Bears and the Lions. Mitch Trubisky looked like a quarterback,
and I thought he would. I was never that low on Mitch. I thought a lot was put on his shoulders a lot earlier.
I also think too. They go sign Nick Foles. I think maybe the idea that there's somebody there that can take my job makes somebody.
Some people need that type of pressure.
Yeah.
Especially when it's Nick Foles. When Nick Foles is a nice enough guy to, that comes across as, no, I don't really want to take your job, but if it's given to me, I'm going to go for it. But I won't take your job. That makes you feel a little bit better, but don't forget I got the capability to take your job. But I think you're right that some people need that little push behind them to get the best out of them. And Trubisky looked all right yesterday.
They came back from 17 down as well to beat the Lions. I mean, a lot of people want to scream Matthew Stafford, but that last pass was...
It was there. Man, rookie, you got to come down with that, Rook.
It was in his hands.
You got to come down.
It was in his hands for a touchdown, and it was on the floor.
Yo, listen, man. After the game, I'm going up to the Rook. Don't worry about it. Keep your head up. But understand you are no longer in college. You are in the NFL. What that stand for, B?
No fumbles allowed.
And not for long. If you
yeah, not for long.
If you keep doing that.
That's true, too. More importantly, not for long.
It stands for not for long if you keep this up. So
yeah.
The young man will learn that. And what I like to see is he felt as bad for dropping it as everybody else did. That's what I like.
You felt that bad because it was on TV.
Yeah. But I want to see you like pouring out of you like, man, I let the team down.
Yeah, because that was, whew, that was, because Stafford played good. He had a good drive.
He really did.
He had good. I mean,
what gets on my nerves is why are you always in this position? Why you always fourth quarter, last 2 minutes, you got to pull it out?
That's Detroit.
That's Detroit.
I really do believe that Matthew. There's certain quarterbacks, in my opinion, I feel like if you put them in a different situation, they might have better results. Because sometimes what you have to understand, some organizations are just crap.
And it's weird that you said that because the first organization and the team that popped in my mind, if you switch it, would things be different? San Francisco 49ers.
The 49ers.
With Stafford.
Wow. Yeah, the Patriots is with Stafford.
Uh-huh.
I think because that was the rumor.
Now. Josh McDaniel with Cam yesterday looked very
he looked
scary.
Good. But before Cam.
Okay, before that was a thought. Okay,
that was a thought. That was a thought because maybe he gets traded.
That would have fit well with McDaniel too, because that would have gave him more of a Brady feel.
Yeah, and Stafford always had an arm.
He got an arm.
But you think about it, Calvin Johnson retired early for a reason.
And that set Stafford
Barry Sanders retired early for a reason.
I guess you're right, B. That's Detroit.
That's Detroit, man.
It's just Detroit.
That's just they haven't won a playoff game since the 90s.
Yeah. I guess you're right. That's the best way to sum it up. That's Detroit.
That's Detroit. And then yesterday also, it was a game of legends.
What's that?
The Buccaneers and the Saints. And when I say legends, I'm talking about the quarterback.
Yes, it was.
Tom Brady.
Yes.
And a Buccaneer jersey that looked so weird.
It did.
It looked weird.
When he took that helmet off, and it looked weirder seeing him side by side with Gronk in those uniforms.
Yeah, that looked like we was in a parallel universe, and this is what could have been. Mm-hmm. And then Drew Brees and the Saints. And let's just say it clearly no preseason. Mm-hmm. I think it really showed yesterday in a lot of games.
Shout out to my boy Willie Beeman. No preseason, right? But if it's any football team that we can't use that workout stuff for, it is Tampa Bay. This is the team that got in trouble the most, working out on the side, working out in parks. So for him not have that rhythm with the receivers yesterday, Tom Brady not having that rhythm with the receivers yesterday was surprising.
Mike Evans was hurt for 3-4 weeks with hamstring.
I get that, but all the videos we seen Godwin, we seen Grunt, we see him working out with O.J. Howard. That excuse don't work for Tampa Bay because they was cheating because they was working out illegally.
True, and I'll give you that, but also you gotta remember, throwing passing trees is different than full-on practice.
I get it. But a lot of those plays wasn't because it was contact. It was timing, which y'all should have had because, again, y'all was the one that was cheating and wasn't listening to the COVID rules.
But that's true, but here's the thing is, how good we don't know how good those practices was.
I mean, it's timing. Timing is practically, when you at a Brady level, I just got to get used to your speed. It don't take him 100 weeks to do that.
It don't, but you also got to think about it. In New England, he didn't have speed receivers. He had Julian Edelman. Mm-hmm. What's the other guy? Well, you know what I'm talking about. He had more position receivers. Godwin and Evans are speedsters.
I get that.
So Howard also is a speedster. I just think you just saw maybe Russ Father Time finally showing up.
So that was my question for you, because the legs on Breeze look good. The legs on Brady, despite the quarterback sneak for a touchdown, which you ain't got to run for any damn way, how did his legs look to you?
Week 1.
Do they? Well, young probably be the wrong question. Do they look like Brady-esque?
I felt like the best way to describe it, when they took that shot at him sitting on the bench, I felt like he had a look at his face like, maybe I should have retired.
Okay.
And I watching that game, I feel like, I believe everybody else, after a few games, game time speed, it might pick up. Mm-hmm. But I also think, too, if it doesn't pick up, I don't know. It's hard. Once again, it's like I said, it goes back. It's not an excuse, but bubble, COVID-19, no preseason. I don't know how much you put emphasis on a first game.
The mental mistakes, the offsides, all this stuff that
3 straight
Brady
games with a pick
is
six.
not used to. And then, like you said, you have that shot of him on the sidelines, and it looks like that the realization finally hit him that, oh, hold up, maybe you know, I am, like, the age thing finally hit him. That's what the shot looked like to me. That the age thing finally hit him, like, oh snap, I am getting up there, and this may be a much younger sport than what I thought.
And maybe the offense that Bruce Arians runs doesn't fit Tom Brady.
True.
They ran a lot of West Coast, which, if you don't know what West Coast football is, it's a lot of dump passes, 5 yards and out, most maybe 10. You're not really
screen here, screen there.
You're not really testing the arm on a regular basis. Bruce Arians has always tested the arm
because he has those receivers.
He got those speeds. Jameis Winston, as far as me interceptions, he did give up last year.
He has an arm. He led the league in touchdowns, didn't he?
Yeah, in interceptions.
Yeah.
You know, he was the offensive and defensive player of the year. But anyways, but he also threw for 5,000 yards.
Because he has that arm. He can get it down the field, and it was a long pass to was it Brat or something like that? Wasn't to Brat, and it just looked like it took a long time to come down.
Yeah. Now here's my question about Drew Brees. And when they was talking about just the records that's between these two men, Brees is on first for just about everything. He has 1 Super Bowl win. He has a Walter Payton Award for Man of the Year, but no MVP. Do you think him never winning an MVP hurts his claim to maybe be in the talk as one of the greatest quarterbacks?
Not really, because some of those people is just timing. You know, we have no idea how many rings Karl Malone would have had. It just happened not to run into the best player ever. You know, not just all basketball players are good, but he had to run it up to Jordan.
Right.
So now I put that back to Breeze. It's just his timing. And everybody, when we start looking at his legacy, we're going to take that into consideration and understand that this dude right here, when it comes to the quarterback, he is one of the best. He just happened to be in the same timing as Belichick and Tom Brady.
Okay. All right. Now, the game of the night, we kind of touched on it earlier, Rams and Cowboys. so much here. Do you think the noise outside of the game with the whole Dak Prescott situation affected the game?
I do. But before we get into the game of the Dallas Cowboys, I do want to give a big time shout out to Dak Prescott. And Paul George for that matter also. He came out and talked about the passing of his brother, and with that, the depression that came along with that. We look at these NBA stars and we figure, they have everything, so what do you really have to be depressed about? And materialistic things can't provide that mental comfort that you need. I completely understand what Dak Prescott was going through, because just over a year ago, I lost my best friend. And not only my best friend, it felt to me like I lost my brother. And that depression can come over you. It's real. It can come over you and really, 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 really put you in a dark place. And a place that you have no idea. First of all, you just don't even know what you're going through. You have these daily things that you're supposed to do, and you just don't get to them. You just find yourself in just so sad and not able to come out of it. And I know in my case, just not eating and things like that. And I completely was able to relate to Dak Prescott and was happy just to see him on the field yesterday, able to make it back on the field, because our jobs and the things we do be in the radio, I don't know how I would have came out of it. First of all, you need a great supporting group. My wife. And the radio station. Without this radio station, I don't know. This was so therapeutic to me during those times. And I think that's being on a football field and being around those brothers is going to be very therapeutic to Dak. But it takes a minute, because depression goes so crazy, because one day you can feel like, yeah, you up for it, and all it takes is one thing, and you're right back. You're right back in it.
Yeah. You said Paul George. You also got to go Kevin Love.
Kevin Love, we talked about it.
He was the first big one. DeMar DeRozan also. If you're a wrestling person, Mauro Ronaldo, he's talked about it. But it's big. I think this is my opinion, is if you're black in America, you should see a therapist.
And I was going to touch on that. So you're going through that, right?
Yeah.
And then you go to the climate of our nation right now. Turning on the TV can be very depressing right now. You see what our people are going through. All those people we just named are African American.
Yeah.
And then you turn on the TV and you're like, man, I can't even go outside. And then you got COVID. So that means you're in the house all day. It can put you in a very depressing state.
And let me tell you something. Being stuck in a house plays with your mind.
It does.
In a way that I didn't realize till this year when I had COVID. Because when COVID first happened, it was around my birthday. And I usually take a week off for my birthday from work. And this year I had plans to go out of town. COVID happened, shut everything down. So I'm stuck in the house. And didn't go nowhere. And when I first moved to where I live at now, I think the first week I was there, I stayed home because new place. I want to get be in it. But since then, I think maybe besides maybe one day a month, I'm home.
Yeah.
Usually I'm coming home about 10, 11 o'clock at night, go to sleep, get up about 6, 7, and do it all over again. When I looked at it, was like 3 weeks I've been sitting in this house.
Just sitting there. Just looking around.
Can't go nowhere. Around. You're like,
and the option of being able to go somewhere, I think that's what plays with your mind. Like that option is now taken away. Yeah. Like even if I had some place to go, I probably still would be here. But to know my option is taken away.
Take it away, yeah. And I felt what they call it, cabin fever. Yeah. So I felt. Well, I understood what he was saying. It's different because never in my lifetime I have been told I had to stay home. Not since I was a little kid.
And I'm happy that shows the mental capacity of some people and other people. You, in your mind, you able to come to it, and just a little bit of cabin fever and things like that. Some people can get deeper.
You get deeper.
For them.
Well, I think for me, it made me look at some things in my life that I never paid no attention to, and realize, man, that's kind of fucked up.
Yeah, it slowed you down.
Yeah, it slowed me down. And the reason we're bringing this up, if you don't know, you've been living in Iraq or just don't watch TV like that, a certain pundit, that's what I'm gonna call him, came out and made some kind of really insensitive comments about Dak. Said since he's the quarterback, that he can't feel sorry for him feeling depressed. Mm-hmm. And he's trying to backtrack it. And he was trying to say, I'm not talking about his brother dying, just the part of the COVID. And I feel like when you say stuff like that, you just really being insistent because you don't have the right to say how somebody should combat something. And Shannon Sharp made the best point. He was like, hot water hardens eggs, softens potatoes. Mm-hmm. Same water, two different objects, two different outcomes. Mm-hmm. Doesn't make one worse or better than the other. And I look at Dak. I hope he gets better. I hope he's getting the treatment that he needs.
I just want to say one thing too, because this is the hard part. I very, very confident person, but what people don't realize, because his position don't excuse him for other things. So what I want to say is, sometimes the teacher need help too. Sometimes the counselor need help too. Just because their job is to counsel other people, sometimes they need some counseling also. So Dak Prescott and him being the captain of the team of Dallas Cowboys does not exclude him from the normal things that we go through as being as far as depression and things like that. But what it does make it harder for us to ask for help, because people is always asking us for help.
I agree with that.
We're always, can you help? Can you help? Can you help? So when you need some help, it makes it hard for you to ask for help when you're the teacher or the counselor, and you're always doing that. So in Dak Prescott being the quarterback, the leader, it's hard. You make it even harder to ask for help when you're supposed to be taking on everybody else's problems, the center, the wide receivers, and the running back.
But let's get to the game.
Let's do it.
I felt like the Rams looked good last night. Mm-hmm. I don't know, they look like the Super Bowl team that they was a couple years ago. Jalen Ramsey definitely came to play. Dallas, they had some opportunity. I feel they should get Zeke the ball a lot more.
Yeah.
I don't know why they didn't, because
I'm about to tell you why in a minute.
He looked phenomenal from what I saw.
Look back, not last year's Zeke, because we can tell he came in a little bit overweight. Right, he looked like the year before.
Zeke, yeah. He had to do tattoo feet, and he looked ready to go.
Yeah.
But it's like new coach, same Dallas.
Yeah, and this is why. If I'm the players of the Dallas Cowboys last night, I'm very frustrated that we lost that game. What's frustrated as a player is when you not lose the game because you lost it because of the coaching.
Yeah.
McCarthy did a horrible job last night, and it didn't even start last night. It started when I didn't even know it. They kept the offensive coordinator from Jason Garrett.
Yeah.
You don't do that. When a new coach come in, you may keep the defense if your defense is tight, but you always get rid of the old offense. What do you need the old offense for? Obviously, it didn't work.
I would have got rid of everybody, even the defense.
But you might consider the defense if you want to keep somebody because you've been here for a while. You shouldn't lose your job.
Its defense was stout.
The offensive coordinator has to go.
I'm not arguing with that.
So you want to know why they look like the same old Dallas? Same old offensive coordinator was there calling the plays last night. Now, I don't believe McCarthy is going to let this keep on going. I believe he's going to take over. Because what was surprising is they expected that to change because he's an offensive coach. So why would you bring in an offensive mind to change the Dallas Cowboys, but keep the offensive coordinator from last year and play like you did last year?
Because their owner's name is Jerry Jones. He probably kept them.
So here comes a time where McCarthy, this is why you're here. We know what Jason Garrett would have done in this situation. And I got to give credit to Jason Garrett because last night he'd have been right. Jason Garrett would have kicked that field goal in the fourth quarter to tie it up 2020. Jason Garrett would have did that. You can call it, and McCarthy tried to clean it up, being, punk move to kick the field goal and things like that. We're going to be a team of going for it. No, stupid. That was just a dumb coaching decision. You tie the game up. Your team has been playing rough all night, but still have a chance to win the game.
You go for a Week 14 playoffs on the line. Week 1, you get a tie.
You need to win. You are the new coach. You want to show that man who's just he's not like any other owner. He's different. You show him, I am here because I know what you're about. W's.
Yeah,
None of that moral stuff. I went to go for it.
I agree because like week 14 you go for. I said playoffs line you go for. Week 1.
Or you trying to get a message across to your team.
You kick the field goal, and we play defense, and we get the ball back and see what happens.
Dak had a rough night. Out of all that, he still had a chance to win it.
Yeah, yeah.
Coach, don't do that to the team.
And that was offensive pass interference, where everybody wants to know. You said they was.
The angle they showed, you couldn't see the push off. It just seemed like both of them are holding.
Yeah.
When you show both of their backs, just like the basketball play, you see the actual extension of Gallup.
Yeah.
It wasn't even a hard call. It shouldn't have been all that talk after. Gallup extended. What I didn't understand was great pass, Dak. Why Gallup just didn't believe in his speed? He was going to beat him.
He did beat him.
He didn't need to do that.
Here's the thing. Their arms might have been tangled up, but really, if you let go of the arm,
you're one step of your speed, you're about to beat him.
You're a step ahead of him.
So usually in that position, the defensive player gets a little paranoid and they make the mistake and put their hands out. Gallup didn't believe in himself and his speed. Dak threw a perfect pass. He was going to catch that. He didn't need to push off.
I'm with you on that one. I thought that was weird too with the push off. Like I thought, get untangled. Well, if you get better separation,
and he was with the next step.
I'm talking off the line.
I understand that, but Ramsey ain't no joke.
He ain't no joke.
He played a very good game last night. But Gallup was going to beat him on that particular play.
And that's the other thing too. Ramsey played a hell of a game.
Yes, he did. So why keep testing him?
That's what I'm like.
When you have Zeke Elliott back there, Pollard, the backup running back for Dallas, ran good. So you had 2-pounders.
And then you got Lamb on the other side. Amari Cooper had a decent game.
And I want to say this. McCarthy, hey, stupid. Dak has some legs, too.
Yeah,
you can use some of that canned stuff with Dak and help him out with the passing because this is not an accurate quarterback either. CeeDee Lamb, he's ready for this. He's built for this. All you got to do is buy him a little bit of time, use Zeke, do the play action, and now these wide receivers is wide open, and then it will help Dak.
Yeah, because there's a question because like the one pass to Lamb that they stopped. I think it was on the 4th down because he was like a yard short. That was like
Ramsey came up and made the. No, it wasn't Ramsey. Another dude came up and made the tackle right there, yard short.
The Rams just looked good. Like, they looked good. Like, okay, this is the talent they paid for. Other side of the ball.
Brown, the running back, played good. They made that getting really girly nothing.
Yeah, that really. I feel like I watched a little bit of the Atlanta game because I have Red Zone and I also got like one of those channels that you just see different games at once.
Okay.
And
fancy.
Yeah. Gurley looked okay. I feel like Gurley lost something.
Gurley, I don't see. I know what he's giving me week 1. Let me start looking at Gurley week 7 because he got his. That's when his knee is at his best. That's why I'm saying that. His knee is at his best the first 3 games. What you want to know about Gurley is week 7.
Yeah.
How is that knee looking week 7? Yeah. Does he have that burst off the cut?
Yeah, so that's true. I'll give you that. But the Rams look good. The Rams look like they might be a contender in the NFC this year.
I like the way Goff looked yesterday. Woods, Cooper Kupp looked like he's ready to be a number 1. He really did.
I've always liked the Cooper Kupp. I always never necessarily be my number 1, but that X factor receiver, just that guy like he can go get his.
Some that defense may have to consider. We got to watch him maybe with 2 people.
Yeah. I always like. I think Cooper. I always like the Cooper Kupp. But yeah, I think they're gonna be fine. I think they'll be in the thick of things. The NFC West is gonna be interesting.
But I got so upset was. Believe it or not, in New York, probably people is going to get very upset with you. But they know the Jets and the Giants ain't going to no Super Bowl, so probably they won't get mad. My pick for the year was the Giants. That don't look like no Super Bowl team last night, fam.
Who?
Not the Giants, the Cowboys. I picked the Cowboys to win the Super Bowl. That's not a team. That wasn't a Super Bowl team last night.
Wow.
Why B do you keep?
As an Eagles fan,
the offensive coordinator from last year, when you are brought in to fix the offense, Jerry Jones brought him there to fix the offense. So in his decision, his head coaching decision was, I'm going to keep the offensive coordinator from last year. Explain that to me, man.
I can't. I'm not going to try to. I'm not going to waste my time because when I heard that last night, it scratched my head like, what?
That was not smart.
And and I'm flipping out. And when I saw that, I was like, Was it the guy from
And
last
that's
year?
why y'all looking like this. Zeke Elliott has to touch the ball 25 times.
But
He's
I-
a pounder.
I also-
He's a wear the defensive
Here-
out type of running back.
But this is my thing, though. I think for the McCarthy hire for the Cowboys, I question it. Because this is my mind, and maybe this is how I think. If I was Jerry Jones, I would have got a defensive coordinator, or a defensive minded guy as a head coach, and then go out and go get one of the new age offensive coordinators that's out there. You're Jerry Jones. You can throw some money at somebody. Josh McDaniels, somebody.
How about the offensive mind? Excuse me, that beat you last night. McVay with that play calling is no joke.
You know, I would have. Yeah, I would go.
McVay with the play calling was money last night. He looked like he knew what the Cowboys was about to turn, and he knew how to counter it all.
Oh.
That's a great play caller right there.
Yeah, true. Because like everybody's not an Andy Reid where you could be the head coach and play call and call plays. I
wonder how Andy Reid could see through that mask. You saw this mask Thursday night?
Hey, Andy Reid
fogged up.
Andy Reid don't care. He got his Super Bowl ring.
What? He is so protected right now.
Probably about to get his second one this year. Cause that's what I picked. I picked in the repeat.
I picked the Cowboys, but I feel very stupid from last night. I do, gotta admit it.
But I don't know. Dallas.
Aldon Smith looked great. Shout out to Aldon Smith coming back from all that
injury.
all that trials and tribulations and getting, I was about to say a second chance at NFL, but it's really not true. Getting his 10th chance at NFL football.
Yeah.
And coming back made me think about something. And I got into an argument with somebody, but you know, everybody thinks that, you know, with what's my man named Cat, that he's not really in because he's being blackballed because, you know, he took the knee. I don't know if that has so much to do with it of just ain't that good. Because you look at Aldon Smith, talking about somebody that
Let me tell you something.
1 chance, 2 chance, 3 chance. But the reason why he keeps getting these chances and don't get the black ball, and y'all can put the knee into it if y'all want, but the reason why it don't happen to him, because he's better at his position than Cap is at his position.
I would say this about Cap, and you know,
and it's the truth.
I've been quiet about it because you know.
You want to go to cookouts?
Exactly.
You want to be invited to the cookouts?
Yeah, exactly.
I know.
Yeah. But, like, I try to tell somebody here, it's been 3-4 years since Cap's been on.
And he wasn't the most accurate before that.
He lost his job, his starting job. He opted out of $15 million. And he brought a lot of noise on the situation. As a businessman. I might not want that.
And that's all I've been trying to think. Put yourself as the owner, as the businessman. I will get him.
And then,
long as you equal the problems that you about to bring.
Then last year,
right? Meaning you about to throw some touchdowns. I don't mind that. And you about to equal out the problems you about to bring us.
And then last year, with the tryouts, with the change of venue.
And come on.
And what I'm saying is, I am not talking about his social justice.
I'm talking strictly football here. We're talking about strictly on-field stuff here. Because he's an activist otherwise.
Yeah, I'm with you. I think, you know, he's just
ain't that good. I'll say it. You want to go to the cookouts?
Yeah.
I'll say it. Dak Prescott wouldn't be playing on my team. I mean, Kaepernick, Cat wouldn't be playing on, and this is only business.
And
I'm a black owner. Just pretend y'all that I'm a black NFL owner. I would not get him.
You can say there's guys on a team that there's playing that's not as good as him, and that might be true.
Okay,
but that's always been the case.
Exactly. Cat is not about to equal out the problems he's about to bring.
Let's go.
Let's go back to Aldon Smith. He got 3 sacks last night. Now we know some trouble is coming. Jerry Jones like that, but he gave me 3 sacks last night. He's gonna equal out the problems he's gonna bring.
That's just like a couple years ago. Who was it? They had Greg Ellis.
Dallas always would give you a shot.
Yeah, he was slapping up girlfriends left and
Dallas
right.
and the Raiders always would give somebody a shot.
Yeah.
If you about to equal out the problems you're going to bring. And it's obvious. Cat want to bring a lot of problems, like you said, as a business owner, and ain't going to touch going to be thrown.
Yeah, so that's how. And also, like I told somebody, usually when you settle with somebody, they don't hire you back.
Yeah.
The NFL settle.
Yeah.
So, But moving on to tonight, we got 2 games for Monday Night Football. We got the Titans and the Broncos. I think a game that nobody really cares about.
Mm-hmm. I am interested in seeing Locke, though. I am.
I think I'm interested in Locke, see if he's. I know everybody got hyped for his little video last year where they saw him rapping the words.
Yeah, I want
to see if he's any good.
I always like to see the quarterback second year of, and you mentioned it earlier, adjustment. What type of adjustment you made off the offseason?
Also, I want to see was Derrick Henry last year a one-hit wonder? Because you remember the first couple of years he wasn't that good.
This is what I do know. Like Dallas won't keep feeding Zeke. Henry will show us if the coaches will give him the chance to show us it was that a one-hit wonder. How about that?
Yeah, because
he will get that ball.
Because that is, as a grown man, no man should be built that way.
And be able to run. That's just, come on, you give him the ball, you mean to tell me he can run? A truck can run? That's unfair, fam. You know, school bus. Picture that, and you hand him the ball and tell somebody to tackle it. That's Derrick Henry, fam.
Yeah.
So that's what I can't wait to see. Is this all about the money, or you about to really do this? Because if he is like last year, that can put them right back in the position that they wasn't last year. Because Tannehill need that type. He needs that type of back.
Yeah, he needs that type of back because that's what got him $72 million.
Yes.
So, and then the first game, the 7:00 game, Steelers and your Giants.
I'm gonna get it out the way now, because I don't know if the year is about to come. So I can talk as much shit as I want about the Giants right now before we even get bad. So people understand I'm about to go hard in the paint. Saquon, let's go. Go back to the Penn State days. And Jones, we got Ingram. You were talking about him earlier. I don't know if you were talking about the Saints Ingram, but no, you were talking about the Ingram from the Giants, the tight end.
Okay.
One of the best tight ends in the NFL right now. He's going to get used tonight, and we're going to shock everybody. If anybody's out there betting, you take the Giants tonight to cover.
Okay. I mean, you got
period. You got old ass.
Roethlisberger, he's coming back from a elbow injury.
Anybody in Pittsburgh still eating that cheeseburger? Tell me who's still eating that cheeseburger from Roethlisberger. That's over, fam.
Juju Smith-Schuster?
That ain't a one. That's not. We talked about 1s and 2 receivers.
He got to show up this year.
No, B. We got our answer last year. And Antonio Brown told us. He told, this ain't him. He needs a me.
Yeah.
I got my answer about Schuster.
James Conner. I
love the story.
Great story.
Love the story. Everybody, I wish I was in the station saw how me and B looked at each other. Right. We said it at the same time. Right. But Snell, the backup behind him, I believe Kentucky led the nation in running.
Yeah.
That's somebody. He's going to be the one now. He's going to be the one. Snell Jr.
The defense is reinvented. I like it. I felt bad that Ryan Shazier had to retire. Because I felt like he was on his way to a career.
Who's going to be the key linebacker that we know the Steelers to be?
I don't know.
That's the thing about the defense that I always go confident when I'm thinking about the Steelers. Who that linebacker is? We had, unfortunately, the guy that just got injured. Then it was a running back before him. I mean, the linebacker before him. They go off that. They need that guy. Not just for the tackling and all that. They need that. That solidifies the Pittsburgh Steelers.
Yeah. So we're going to see. That's going to be an interesting game. That's a 7 o'clock.
What are you expecting out of Big Ben, fam? Would he? All right, I know what I
don't know.
Ask you. Would he look more like Brady from yesterday or Drew Brees?
It could be both.
Nah, B, shit, that was an easy answer, fam. I'm not going to let you off the hook like that. Which Roethlisberger are you think going to step on the field tonight? More looking like, he still can do it like a Breeze? Or this game is getting to me like a Brady?
Here's the Cavs team in the year. I'm going to give him the first quarter. But my gut...
There's 4 quarters in the game.
I know. I'm going to give him the first quarter to show me.
Okay.
But my gut feeling, I'm leaning more towards Brady. Only because you've been gone a year.
And the injury he suffered wasn't a leg, it was an arm.
It was an elbow.
That's what I'm
it's the same
about.
injury Peyton Manning had. He came back and won a Super Bowl.
Okay, but me and you both know Pittsburgh ain't got the defense that the Broncos had during that tenure of Manning.
I agree.
When your arm is like that, you need that type of defense. I think I'm with you. I think it's going to look a little bit more Brady-esque. The game is going to be, Big Ben has been around for a while and have taken a lot of hits. This is a dude that, for a while would run the ball. he
Yeah.
would take some hits. So I will not. That's another reason why I'm taking the Giants tonight. I don't believe that Roethlisberger is gonna be the burger we know, the quarterback that we know.
Yeah, I think also they don't got the team.
Don't have no pieces.
They don't
man.
got the team.
He only got no pieces. Juju again. I don't believe in him as being you're the leader.
I got all respect.
Washington is good though. I do like Washington, the receiver for the Steelers. He's gonna be all right.
I mean, I got all the respect in the world for Mike Tomlin. I think he's a great coach. I think
Yes.
he can make adjustments, but I just don't think they got the talent.
They don't. They don't, and didn't really do well. The acquisition of drafting Snell, that was good, but everything else of trying to fill out those pieces, I think. Tell me what you think about this. They should have went again hard for Antonio Brown. Even after all of that, they should have went after Antonio Brown. They need him.
Here's the thing is, I 100% agree with you.
Put your pride to the side.
But I think they couldn't because of everything that had transpired. I don't think Brown.
Any team in the NFL needs that man. It's
them.
actually the Steelers.
Yeah, I 100% agree. But also, too, Antonio Brown became so much of a show last year that I don't know how you deal
We're
with
kind
it.
of used to that. It's the Pittsburgh Steelers. They understand that.
Yeah, it's true.
It's probably a little bit out of the norm, but today, the lights is on. This dude is, you know how he act when the lights is on.
Yeah.
But man, that team, you got the Rooney. That's the one I was thinking about. The Rooney. Somebody up there got to put their pride to the side. Call that man. Dust off the phone or the cell phone.
Well, I think
and call him.
And he still got a suspension too.
And that's why you go after him, because now the number has finally came out. It's going to be about 4 games. That's all I would have wanted to know for an owner. How many games am I he's gonna miss for me?
Right.
It being in the air makes me being in the air. Now you give me a number, 4 games.
I could do something with that.
Come here, Antonio. Come on, let's go. Let's put up. We're
mean,
gonna say sorry.
well,
This
hey,
check gonna help it out,
Well,
and let's go.
we'll see. Maybe how they play that show because
It's a whole other team if Antonio come back with the rest of those pieces. Now we talking about they got pieces now. It's amazing how one piece and make it look like they have dozens of pieces.
Because now Juju could be who he's supposed to be as a second.
Because now Juju becomes a factor. The running back thing becomes a factor now. Washington becomes a factor when he first got his name, but it was because Antonio Brown was coming on.
Yeah. So it'll be. I think tonight it'll be a telltale game for both sides. The Giants. What do you got, in Daniel Jones? Do you got a quarterback?
This is where it gets strange. Whenever we ever need one, Phil Simms, Super Bowl, Hollister, Super Bowl champion, ring, Eli Manning, 2 Super Bowl champions. We don't need a Montana. All we need is a and we will come out with a Super Bowl rings. And that's what Jones is. And he has to understand that. Don't try to be a Montana. Just be an Eli. And let Saquon do what he does, and let ID do what he does. We always been the average quarterback, but that ain't never stopped us from being Super Bowl champions. So Jones, he's okay. And that's all we need.
But also, in all those Super Bowl teams, y'all had good coaching. Y'all had Parcells.
Shit.
You had Coughlin.
Got me. You got me there.
Who y'all coach this year? What's his name again?
You got me.
Exactly.
And this is the weird part. The offensive coordinator is Jason Garrett.
Some of that
Mr. Field Goal. Mr. Field Goal. That's what we call him. Mr. Field Goal. He loves, but again, yeah, and I know I'm going crazy. It's game 1, y'all, so I got to get my shit out now.
Get it down.
Because who knows what shit going to look like in week 4.
Exactly.
But we ain't never need all that to still at the end of week 17 and the playoffs to come out with a ring. So hopefully that's one of those years I'm hoping for, praying for the Giants, that everybody's sleeping and we just all right, but we still end up with a ring.
Well, we'll see. Well, we'll take a quick break.
On that note, we take a break.
On that note, we're gonna take a break because I'm in it right where I got him.
I had nothing to say back to that, y'all. God damn it.
Because I knew where he was gonna be.
God damn it.
For the coaching.
Coaching.
But we'll take a quick break. We'll talk about the NBA, and the Big Ten to finish out the show. We'll be right back.
All right, make sure y'all call in Talk Sports 614-781-0754. Again, Talk Sports with us. Sportz Budz 614-781-0754.
614-718.
Back to the coach.
Brooklyn the Buckeye was
And
five.
I learned that heard that last night. Like Jason Garrett is the offensive coordinator of the Giants.
Willie Blanco's
Why
my
would you
name.
do that?
Chef and Coke is the game. Most of you niggas lame. You did
Yes,
rappers
that last night, I didn't
injected
even
this
realize,
person came. Killing it like Abel. Millions on the table. Clucking
And I didn't
numbers
even know
like
that.
Barksdale.
Well, Cowboys.
Dope like Oxtail. Can't you smell that aroma? When I add in that soda, ain't slinging no Reebok. Ain't rocking no Reebok. Got some bread on my feet. Put some bread on your head. Fuck a Blanco, you dead. Who is you? I'm Willie Blanco, the boss, ripping up north.
Who is you?
I make moves 310 NBM.
Who is you? I'm Mr. Black, I own shit and I run shit. Who is you? Who is you?
I make moves fresh out the gate, no cap. I'm making moves like a quarterback, won't stand for games like that. I represent that old state, speak the truth like I'm in court. I was knee deep in them streets and ain't one beef, so I just sold pork. Make moves long, cause life's short. Who is you to dare hate on me? I press the gas, flex on your ass while you catch the bus, scroll and suck your teeth. My sister said, moves, get him, bro. I told her, yeah, I got him, sis. Bury a rapper in Green Lawn, 17th in Woodland.
Who is you?
I'm Willie Blanco, the boss, ripping up north.
Who is you?
I make moves 310 NBM.
Who is you? I'm Mr. Black, I own shit and I run shit. Who is you? New life Kennedy, Mr. Black. I'm known to have many straps. I got a new fleet of trucks. The leader is all mad. It's sitting on 22s, mixing the signs on the back. The 10 is 0%. Can't see the ops in the back. Across these, I'm Ray for Capone. So low, but I'm not alone. Papa was a Rolling Stone. Anywhere I go, yeah, I'm from Franklin County. Yeah, that's my throne. Not the hope, but back to the bone. Don't be stupid and challenge me. I'll turn your west into stone. Who is you?
I'm Willie Blanco, the boss, ripping up north.
Who is you?
I make moves 310 NBM.
Who is you? I'm Mr. Black, I own shit and I run shit. Who is you? Who is you?
I'm Willie Blanco, the boss, ripping up north.
Who is you?
I make moves 310 NBM.
Who is you? I'm Mr. Black, I own shit and I run shit. Who is you? Who is you?
And welcome back to Sportz Budz. It's me and Killer B with my LJ. You're listening. Song you've been listening to is Regular Capone off his album Christopher. That was Who Is You featuring Willie Blanco and Make Moves. Got a new album coming out at the beginning of the year called Michael. I guess he's going to do his whole full name.
Let's start supporting our own Columbus. Let's start supporting our own rappers. Let's do it.
So, we're done with the NFL. We talked a whole hour of the NFL because that's how much I love the NFL.
Man, that's our Monday. Yo, man. Woo. We missed it.
Yeah. But the NBA,
Uh-huh.
the Clippers and the Nuggets will play in a game 7.
Oh, my God. Is that crazy?
The Joker yesterday, 34 points, 14 rebounds, 7 assists. They can't do nothing with him.
Are you really, because people laughed at it when Pop first said it. Yo, this dude is a walking Larry Bird. And everybody laughed at it like, I don't see it. Are you starting to see what he was talking about?
I've been saw it.
Okay.
I think Joker's losing weight has really helped his game.
And really making you see what Pop was talking about. Yeah.
I've always saw it with him. Because he was always that guy that put like maybe 16, 17 points and get 4, 5, or 6 assists. Like all-star numbers, but not numbers that you'd be like, oh, he's a superstar.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody's in the bubble. Everybody get to see him play.
Mm-hmm.
Also, everybody get to see Jamal Murray.
Mm-hmm.
Gary Harris is getting his shot. We've already talked about Michael Porter Jr.
Mm-hmm.
This is a complete team.
I like what he said at the press conference too. I didn't think it was selfish. He didn't mean it for himself. What he was talking about, what we need to do to beat this particular team. I like that from that young man.
It's a team. They are a team. If they can find a way, money's always gonna come a part of it, to keep them together. I will stand by. If they keep that nucleus together, they will win a title. in the next 2 to 3 years. If not, if they don't mess around this year, because I think the problem is nobody's taking them serious, and they're a complete team. You can say, oh, they don't play great defense, but it's the NBA.
Mm-hmm.
Who plays defense?
Who does?
Who plays?
Because
The Lakers.
Clippers is supposed to be the best.
Yeah.
With the 2 top 5, well, 3 when you add in Harrell,
Yeah.
top 3 defensive player, and Patrick Beverly, defensive player of the year.
Yeah.
They're supposed to be, and obviously they're not playing no D, right?
Yeah. And we all know the Lakers don't play D. I don't know how to spell it. But
ain't even gonna do it.
yeah, exactly. They got scorers. They got shooters.
Mm-hmm.
And ladies and gentlemen, they're not even playing bowl.
Mm-hmm.
Let they start playing bowl in a game.
And he's about 20 pounds away from being part of that
Yeah.
that 8.
Yeah, and you look up and like they got legit 3 to 4 20-point scores.
And you hit on it earlier in the show. What I think is the key, the culture of the way Golden State do it. It's something about drafting and letting your young players come up within the culture of what you want the team to be. Golden State nailed it, and now Denver are doing the same
thing.
We're not gonna go get 100 free agents and hope they gel with us. We're gonna draft good, go with our coaching, believe in ourselves, and understand there's gonna be some losses, but they're growing together.
And this is
Harris, Jamal Murray, the core, and Djokovic.
Yeah, and this is also the difference if you look at how Houston tried. Houston tried to buy the team.
Mm-hmm. Lakers too. We put Lakers in there.
Yeah, Lakers tried to buy the team.
Mm-hmm.
Denver naturally grew. Now this is 2 years in a row. They're in the NBA semifinals.
Mm-hmm.
Could get to the conference final,
And we can see it coming.
I see. Like
We really can.
I really do. Like they're one of the teams. Like it's like ooh, they're like Dallas and Doncic and Porzingis. It's like, oh, I see them coming.
And when they ran up against the Miami team, you're like, how they gonna beat them? This is a team.
It's a team.
Barrow, they called Barrow when he was young.
Yeah.
Him and Nokovic,
Yeah.
Dirk growing up
Yeah.
together within the Dallas culture.
Yeah. So like you see it coming. It's like, ooh wee. I was like, this is Denver's gonna get one because
They're
like,
gonna get one, fam.
Yeah.
They're gonna
Mike
get
Mike Malone is coaching them the right way.
Perfect.
He knows what he got. Jamal Murray is a sniper. Jamal Murray is showing everybody
And Harris is a stopper sniper.
Yeah, he's a stopper sniper.
He loves stopping your main guy.
And when you need, you still got Willie Barton back there. You got pieces.
The people, but this is why I think it's okay. Sometimes you can have too much. And this is why the Clippers are a little bit messed up. When you have too much, you think, well, I ain't got to do it because he going to do it.
He going to do it.
I ain't got to do it because he going to do it. When you ain't got that feeling and like, no, it's not going to happen unless we do it. The Clippers are maybe a bit too much because you see how Kawhi last year with the Raptors, they didn't have that mentality. Now the Clippers, Paul, well, Kawhi got it. Kawhi looking at Paul like, you got it.
The Clippers got a little too much swag.
A little too much.
I still think they're going to win Game 7, and I still take them over the Lakers. But I think they need this. I think they need this test. I think it might make them refocus. Okay, we fucked around.
So what you already saying that the Clippers going to win tomorrow?
I believe they're going to win tomorrow. But I would not be shocked if the Nuggets won. I wouldn't. And I would not. Here's my thing.
Crowd involved, normal circumstances back in LA. I'm with you. He's talking about bubble, where anything can happen. Game 7 bubble.
Like I said, I'm picking the Clippers to win it. I would not be shocked if Denver wins. Matter of fact, I'm almost. The regular world might not want to see this finals, but as a basketball fan, I'm almost hoping a Denver Miami Heat NBA finals.
Because they are, I get why you're saying that. They are obviously the two teams that's playing the hardest.
They're grinding.
They're playing the hardest, but
as a marketing and TV ratings,
it'll mess all that up because that's not in the plans.
Yeah.
The plans is
Lakers Celtics.
Word up, or Lakers Heat or something like that. But I think the only reason why they're gonna get away with that tomorrow, hopefully, is because hopefully Paul George comes to play.
He comes to play, and the NBA tell their referees what to do.
Yeah. What do you think about the calling? This bubble calling is getting ridiculous. I understand the fouling of the jump shooters and all that, but man, some of the calls we saw this weekend was horrible.
And I hate to bring this up, but I'm going to. Is why in my head you can't say LeBron's the GOAT because the NBA, how they ref the NBA game is so much softer now. If you do this, tech, and you might get
LeBron
ejected.
screams on a foul every time down, whether it's him or his teammate. I don't even understand if people realize that. He is so engaged in the game and what his players does and what the ref do. Either he figured his player just got fouled or he got fouled.
I remember when he flopped when his own teammate ran into him.
And then what makes it bad is when I get upset is when he doesn't run back on the other end for defense because he's talking to the
refs.
To the refs.
Yeah.
What do you think about Rondo playing now? Different team.
Definitely different team.
Different team.
Give a little grit. But he has his moments too. He has his moments. You be like, ooh, what is he doing? And that's why I'm not sold on the Lakers. I'll put it to you like this. I am not sold on the Western Conference. I'm not sold on the Clippers no more. Not sold on the Lakers. I feel like Denver, to me, is the most fun to watch as a basketball fan. The East, I think the Celtics and Heat, I think it's going to give us an entertaining series. But I think how it's going to probably work out, whoever wins, if the Nuggets get to the finals, the Lakers are going to the NBA finals. And they'll probably win the title. But I just feel like, I don't know.
It's just so weird.
It's weird.
One game they play like the team that you thought they was going to play. Then the next day they play like, why are you even here? It is so hard to project these teams inside this bubble.
Yeah,
and I think that it has something to do with it. The atmosphere has something to do with it.
I think maybe LeBron has probably adjusted to the bubble. But at the same time, those games they lost to the Rockets, you're like, what the hell?
And it's because finally it seemed like the family is around, so that helped them a lot. Because when they wasn't there, it seemed like something was missing for LeBron. It always seemed like something was not there. He looked a little locked in, and Kawhi looked like he's ready to go for a final. Paul George looked like I don't understand.
So you talked about with LeBron and AD. We did not talk about this with Kawhi and Paul George.
Okay.
Well, Paul George was in Indiana when they got to the conference finals. They was not expected to win, so he played a little loose. The Clippers are expected to win. He's never played with that type of pressure.
But they want him to play Indiana loose. Why he don't understand that? They want him to play just as that loose that you played in Indiana. That mentality, that you played in Indiana. That's why you're here.
No, I 100% agree. But I think when the lights come on, it's like, whoo, and we're in a bubble. Everybody's
But they're
watching.
not asking you to do something that you ain't out of your norm. That's what I don't get it. They ain't ask you now, well, you here now, so we want you to block 5 shots. They ask you to still put up 30.
Sometimes, when the lights come on, you realize you wasn't that guy.
Exactly. And I'm happy you said that because the NBA, the people that they got on front of the front of the ticket are really a whole bunch of number 2s.
Yeah.
Giannis ain't no one. Just not. Just a great story and a number 2 though.
Here's my thing about Giannis. And I'm not going to say Giannis. I'm going to say my thing. I think about how sports fandom has changed. Giannis is 25, 26 years old. Been in the league 6-7 years. Okay, he came straight from Greek, 18, 19 years old. I'm not going to give up on Giannis being the number 1. This is why. Most guys really don't get their stride to 27, 28. That's when LeBron got his first title. That's when Jordan got his first title. Kobe was a little bit younger because he was with Shaq. But Shaq was like 27, 28. I think we're jumping the gun on Giannis because he's getting MVP awards, and I understand that. But I don't think sometimes you have to hit that. I think he's going through that process. You remember, just 2-3 years ago, they was an AC. Now they're number 1. I think he's going through that growth. And I also think this is where your question earlier about Chris Middleton comes into play. Middleton, once again, is just not that guy that you want as a number 2, because if my number 1 is struggling, he's struggling because they don't fear my number 2. That's like you never saw it with Jordan. But let's say Jordan did have an off night. Pippen's over in the corner hitting 21, 23 points, giving you 10 rebounds, 7 assists. Chris Middleton, he started jacking up threes. He may make them, he may miss them. Bledsoe, I don't know. I think he left his game in Phoenix because he has not been the same player for Milwaukee. I think on paper it's a great team, but I don't think it's a great fit for deep runs. I think that's why they're saying, hey, we're ready to spin to get you some real help. I think he needs a real point guard too.
I love how you brought up how fandom is in 2020. And you was 110 right. Today, fandom goes like this. Your story will somehow supersede the actual talent that you have. And that's a Giannis. The truth is, and it trickles down to everybody to be like, this is our man. Me and you has never been in a Milwaukee Bucks locker room that we heard that the coach said, this is the man, and do all that. We just look at the game through the TV and it just seemed like that. The truth is, Middleton, to me, can be the number one if it was told to him. You are the number one. Giannis, you are two. Middleton is the man of the team. I do think he'd be able to handle that if it was told to him. This is your team. We go as far as you take us. But when it's told, and it's already in the atmosphere of the locker room, to a player that can't shoot, you're going to take us to the promised land? So that already goes into Middleton's mental that this is the man. I can't do because you saw him take over soon as he was able to handle it. He handled it well when Giannis went out. They lost, but you can see in his mentality, he was saying back to the Milwaukee Bucks, I can handle this number one role.
Well, I disagree with you on that. I don't think he can be the number one guy. I think in that position, okay, there's no Giannis. I gotta step up. But I need.
That's a mental mentality.
But also, if I'm playing, and maybe once again, I'll tell people I'm biased. Watching the NBA from the late '80s to the '90s, I see basketball a little bit different than the. I guess we're the millennials. I guess the Gen
Me and
Z,
you both.
Yeah, the Gen Zs, which I don't even know how that works. But anyways, I look at it like this. I always look at it, if my number one is struggling, my number two needs to step up. And those games when Giannis is struggling, Middleton just didn't do it for me.
It don't go like that because of what you mentioned in the beginning of the topic, of the way the fandom and the way that fandom forces the coaches how to coach today, especially a coach like that. It's the whole thing of this is our man. We said it long ago, and we go as far as Giannis takes us.
But I put it, if you switch roles to make Giannis number two, Middleton number one, I don't think they're a number one seed. I don't think they're getting to the Eastern Conference Finals last year.
Why not? Giannis is still going to be just as hard. It's just the end of the fourth quarter. The ball is not in your hand. It's actually in the shooters, and you become a finisher, which you are anyway. You're not a setup guy, right?
That's fine, but I don't see Middleton as that type of guy. I just don't.
I think he do, and I think he towards those last couple of games.
I think he's the first guy.
When Giannis went away, that's what he was trying to tell him.
I think he's the first guy to trade.
Oh no!
I think he's the first.
This is what I think. This is what you. Ain't nothing wrong with the Bucks. Just there's something wrong with the roles. Ain't nothing wrong. We're talking about the best defensive team in the NBA right here. And with the young players, DeVicino and all those guys coming in off the bench, fam, it's nothing wrong with the Bucks. It's just they got these roles mixed up. You have to go to Giannis and be like, yo, you're the finisher of what Middleton sets up.
Okay, I'm gonna take a different route. I also think in this series, because we said it when we watched Game 1 when they played who they played the first one? The Nets. That they didn't look like the same team. I'm also go back to this. I believe because the league stopped playing middle of March when they was on their roll. I think they just never got back to that part of that. There's no excuses, but technically it is an excuse because I think that factors in. But also too, you look at the other side of the team. I don't know how. I don't know why. But the Miami Heat believe in Jimmy Butler.
Yeah. Why shouldn't they?
I'm not, but what I'm saying is, I think they believe in so much in Jimmy Butler that I feel like they feel like they could beat anybody.
Yeah.
Because that team that they got, should have been out in the playoffs in the first round.
You got Jimmy Butler, some things are contagious. Assists, you'll find your one assist player. If he's full of assists, it'll come contagious throughout the team. Defensive player, sometimes that comes contagious throughout the team. Jimmy Butler, what he brings to a team is contagious. Nobody can beat us. I don't care what they have. He brings that to you on top of the great talent that he also has. And then you got Robinson and Hero, those shooters around him.
I'll tell you something. I was so mad.
Bam going crazy.
I was so bad when my Bulls traded him to the Timberwolves.
Mm-hmm.
And I love Zach LaVine. I think he's a great player.
Mm-hmm.
I just don't think he's that guy like Butler is. He went to Philadelphia. You see, he made a big difference on that team because you see what they're at this year.
2020, it is hard for you to hold your teammates accountable. They don't want to hear that.
It's true. It's so true.
I get a check every 2 weeks like you. Forget the mistake I made. Forget the turnover I made today. Did you make one? So you can't talk to me. Back in the day, a leader was able to talk to everybody on the team. Yo, man, I'm holding you accountable.
I also think Jimmy Butler set the right example.
Jimmy Butler comes across as messing up the locker room only because he'll hold somebody like Zach LaVine accountable. And like Zach LaVine to go back crying upstairs. The difference in the Heat players, they believe in Butler, and they be like, yeah, I'll fix it for you, Jimmy. I got it. I'll fix it. You was right. I'm wrong, and I'll fix it for you. That means a lot.
Yeah. And I think also he showed his leadership by first day of training camp. He's there at 4 o'clock in the morning.
The first thing about leadership, you have to do what you say.
Yeah.
You can't just be the talker. Be like, yo, I want y'all here when the ball leaves, before the ball and after it leaves, and you ain't. You have to be the one that's do what you say.
And he's one. And I'm not. And now before anybody starts him, I'm not calling him Jordan.
Mm-hmm.
But the attribute I do like is when you go, especially when you went back and watch the documentary, is Jordan was willing to make that extra pass.
Mm-hmm.
So you had to be ready to shoot.
Mm-hmm.
He does that.
Mm-hmm.
So because he actually Duncan Robinson, Tyler Hero, like they shine in these playoffs.
Mm-hmm.
Bam. I can't.
He brought money to these guys.
Yeah.
Hey, like Bam actually got a crazy extension for Jimmy Butler. Can you imagine what Robinson and Hero and Dragic? He brought another 3 or 4 years to Dragic. To Dragic.
Yeah. Yeah, because Dragic looked like he was about done.
And Jimmy Butler just gave him another 3 or 4 years. Like, yeah, come on with me.
Yeah, and I think this series with the Celtics is going to be interesting because I think we're looking at the teams that might make the East the next few years.
It's crazy because talent-wise, I believe Boston has more. But Miami's about to beat these guys by strictly willing these young guys.
I agree.
He's going to will them
through
it.
Because here's the difference between the Celtics and the Nuggets. I look at the Nuggets, and I feel like they're coming.
Mm-hmm.
I look at the Celtics, a lot of young talent, but I feel like they should be the next level. But I also think, as good as Jaylen Brown is, Jason Tatum, Robert Williams is starting to play good. You still got Gordon Hayward.
And I love the coach.
I love the coach. But Kemba, can't forget about Kemba. Somebody's ego, I feel like somebody's ego is going to mess that up. Like to where everybody got extensions, so they should be there for the next 3 or 4 years. But I feel like if Jaylen Brown don't get on an all-star team soon, he might want out. You know what I mean? Marcus Smart. He's always that great sixth man, but he might want out. Like, I don't get that same, like now, if the Celtics go on to win it, I'm not surprised because, like, the talent is across the board. But like you said with the Heat, it's something about, like, I like teams that grind it out. And then you also get a coach with Eric Spoelstra that, one, has been
grinding himself.
Been mentored by Pat Riley. And then also coach superstars as a LeBron, D-Wade, Chris Bosh at one time. Now I get to coach Jimmy Butler. He could be a handful, but I got a lot of role players that I can coach. And Jimmy set it up for me
It's
to
something
coach
about
them.
being a star player, but also I also will take the garbage out. That says a lot. Like, look at our star. He's not supposed to be doing this. Jimmy Butler is the type of star, but I'll take the garbage out, though, y'all.
Yeah.
I'll still clean up the house, even though I'm the star of the team.
Not my day to do the dishes, but I'll go ahead and do it. Y'all go ahead.
That means a lot.
And
That's right up Pat Riley style, right? He loves things like that.
And it's crazy, Pat Riley, who coached
And that's the reason why him and LeBron didn't get along, because LeBron is, I'm a superstar, man. I ain't washing no dishes, though. I get you, Pat Riley, the greatest and legendary, but I ain't doing all that.
And let's say it's a Heat Lakers. I'm not saying Jimmy Butler shuts down LeBron, but he gives him some problems.
And what people don't understand, don't need to neither.
Yeah.
They don't need to shut him down to win the game. That's why they're gonna grind it out. And a 7-game grind out, I don't know if AD be able to handle that with Bam and the Miami Heat boys coming, because it's coming every game. They're not gonna do like the Lakers do. Well, tonight we ain't gotta. They ain't gonna do it like that.
On talent, AD is 10 times better than Bam.
Much. But now let's go to war now. And Bam loves stuff like that.
Let's give him that. Bam ain't coming. Bam might shoot a 3 here or there, but Bam's on that post.
He inside. You're gonna take some bruises.
He on that post, and AD don't want to be on that post.
This is gonna be one of those things where it's gonna be like the Miami Heat. We thought because of the talent was put together that they're gonna win it right away, and maybe they'll run off a couple of numbers because of AD and LeBron. It's not gonna be like that. They're not gonna win it this year. It's too many, like you said, complete teams that they're gonna have to fight for.
Yeah, I do agree.
Now, Rondo did something. He took a lot of pressure off LeBron that, you ain't got to make all these plays, because LeBron was about to go crazy. He felt like he was back in the Lakers looked like the Cavs, that I got to make all the plays for everybody. Rondo gave him a little bit of I'm not comparing him, he's not better than Kyrie or none of that, but gave him somebody that I can give the ball to and ain't got to worry about a turnover. That's what Rondo brings to him. I can give him the ball, and I know it's not going to wind up into being a turnover. That means a lot to LeBron.
Yeah.
Now, if is AD up to this championship march? I don't know that yet. Some games he look like he with it, and some games he look like I got LeBron, so it automatically is going to come to me.
And, for me, and once again, going back to my old school days of watching sports, I miss the players growing up to be champions.
Yeah.
LeBron did it.
No, he didn't. He did. And you know what's sad about that? I truly believe he was going to win it with the Cavs. It's just the same thing the Pistons and everybody else had to go through. The Bulls. You got to fight. You have to take a couple of losses. But I truly believe they was going to get over the hump and beat those Indianas and beat those Heats and things like that. He didn't have to leave, to me.
I think a lot of people agree he didn't have to leave.
And it proves that because he came back.
Won it. He won it. But it was
somewhat of a different team, but the nucleus was still there.
But they kind of rebuilt it. They
love, but shit.
No, but they shipped a lot, because you remember they had waiters on it. They got rid of all that waste.
What's the difference between a waiter's mentality and the mentality of J.R. Smith Jr.? They're the same exact player. Only difference is one's going to bow down to LeBron and one ain't. But as far as talent-wise, they are the same. You want to know how I know that? Waiters play for the Lakers now.
I don't know. I agree. I 100% agree with that. I don't think that's LeBron James' choice.
Okay.
But I think they were just feeling like a roster spot once Avery Bradley said he's not playing. And then they had to, make up a spot because they didn't have Rondo at first either.
Playing with LeBron is like playing with the cool table. If you ain't with the cool group, you can sit at the other table. He don't know when he does that to a team. And let me put that to example. Cavaliers. Kyrie could sit at the cool table. We never thought Love sat at the cool table. Never. He never made Love feel like, come over, sit at the cool table. Now we at the with the Lakers. Who comes at the cool table? AD's at the cool table.
I always felt with Kevin Love, he should have never went to Cleveland. I think he should have stayed in Minnesota.
Great move by Kevin Love. He just didn't know what he was getting into.
I mean, he became a champ.
It fit him perfect. The only player Kevin Love should ever want to play with is a player like LeBron. But he just didn't know what comes into that world of LeBron.
I don't think
LeBron is a bubble within himself.
I don't think him and Kevin had an issue. I think Kyrie was the issue.
I think the mentality of the cool table only sits here, and Love, you ain't with it. You sit there.
I think Love was at the cool table. I
think some days when he had a good game, they said, "Come on."
No. I think he was.
Come on, sit with us. And the days that he didn't, they didn't care if he sat over there. That's what I think.
No, I think he was at the cool table. But the problem was Kyrie wasn't supposed to be there, and he kept bumping him out.
This was at was at the cool table. Tristan Thomas and Kyrie. Love looking over there like I'm better than Tristan. Why is he able to sit there?
Tristan
Because
Thomas.
he listened. He listens to me.
No, he didn't. That's why LeBron got out of there.
Tristan is signed to LeBron. They call it the clutch, but it's really signed to
He's
LeBron.
LeBron, but yeah, then he left him in Cleveland.
But so he's always with him. He's signed to LeBron forever.
You know, he get that.
That's the crazy thing. LeBron's so smart.
Yeah, no, he got
That dude is smart, man.
LeBron got that 50% out of him, but he left his ass in Cleveland.
But he gives you, and that's why with so many teams, let's bring it back to now. It's a lot of teams out there. Nuggets, Miami, and you still got LeBron conducting things in a Cavalier type manner. That year with this bubble stuff, it's going. I don't think they're gonna win it.
I say this: they have to win it this year because if they don't, especially if they talk about the league's gonna start back up in December, that's a lot of LeBron's body. We all know how he feels about that. I don't see them winning because I still see Denver keeping their nucleus. I see Dallas coming. I see if Utah can figure out a couple pieces, they're coming. And don't forget, Golden State has picks and money. They can do something this offseason.
And they don't mind cheating because Draymond Green will call somebody in a second on TNT Live. Come play with us. I don't care about the $500,000 fine. We need you.
Hey,
You saw what he did about Booker?
yeah.
And he was completely right. Imagine Golden State with Booker. But let me tell you this, because I agree with you. LeBron won't win a championship ever again if he doesn't win it now.
Yeah.
This is his best. He's not winning it no more.
Because those teams are coming.
Those teams are coming, and they don't think the way you do. Matter of fact, not only that, they figured out a way to beat teams like you and Giannis. Don't let this one person do it. They figured out to beat those type of players now.
Yeah.
If LeBron don't come out with a bubble title, LeBron may not win another title again. And I don't care who his number 2 is.
Yeah.
AD, BD, I don't care who it is.
This is not LeBron hate. This is not, I was looking at
the growing of the league.
The growing of the league, the NBA, because it was going to happen to Jordan if he didn't leave. Like, it's going to be like, okay, this is kind of it. I know you watch The Last Dance. Yeah, they probably should win for one more title.
It's the way LeBron picks his teammates that, again, if you ain't part of this, he's not going to get you.
So, and this is one thing is somebody was like,
Jamal Crawford is still out there, but he called Deion Waiters and J.R. Smith.
Like I said,
While when Lou was out there, Clippers called Lou Chicken Wing Lou, same score just like Jamal Crawford. The only difference is he's not about to bow down and listen to LeBron like that. LeBron only like people that listen to him. You're allowed to the cool table.
and I will say this, and this is where I got this argument a couple of years ago with somebody where they said, well, LeBron, he broke the slavery chains off the players. I said, first of all, we got to stop comparing these NBA players to slavery. We got to stop doing that because I've never heard a slave making $200 million.
I agree with you there.
First of all, I'm an owner of this team.
Maybe he let him know that we had a little bit more freedom than what we thought. I'll give him that.
But yeah.
But I like the way you put it.
But if I'm an owner and a GM, I need to put this team together. They got to stop listening to players because sometimes, and that's what I like about the Golden State, the Denver Nuggets. They put a team together.
But I mean, we sitting here. It's hard to be like, all right,
I know it's hard.
I'm coming, but you better call Bosh too.
Yeah, I know.
If you want me, I'm coming. You got LeBron locked up, but I'm only coming if you get Bosh. That's a lot of pressure.
But it's a lot of pressure. But the reason I say that is because we've now watched. Okay, yeah, Golden State did add KD, but they did win one title without him. Mm-hmm. Toronto, they had Kawhi, but they just flipped DeMar DeRozan, who was a 25.
And they're still rolling right now.
They're still rolling right now.
Mm-hmm.
Took it to a game 7.
Mm-hmm.
You look at the Celtics. They flipped Isaiah Thomas to Kyrie to Kemba.
Mm-hmm.
That's a team.
That's a team. Today's a team.
Yeah. So you looking at all this stuff, and they're the ones who kind of are winning the titles. The Miami Heat, they put that super team together. Guess what? They got 2 titles.
You got 2 titles. Mm-hmm.
They ran across 2 different teams.
Mm-hmm.
Dallas, who was at the end of their run, they're about to, I don't care.
And stuck you for some money for a couple of years.
Yep. And then they ran to San Antonio, who was a team doing it for a whole 2 decades.
Mm-hmm.
So the super team idea is nice, but we'll see.
It doesn't work out as people make it think it is.
Yeah.
Because at the end of the day, we still have to come together. On paper, that's the only time it looks good. It's
Yeah.
on paper. Other than that, we have to play together. That's why I love the comparison of when you put the Nuggets to the Golden State. They are coming. You keep Harris and Murray together, these boys are gonna feel like Clay and Steph in right now. You think they don't have that feeling like, yo, we can go out there and do this?
Yeah, and that's why I think it's gonna be interesting to see how this NBA Finals pan out. I'm interested in watching the Heat and the Celtics tomorrow just as much as the Clippers and Nuggets
I'm
game.
happy they got some rest off their legs because that's what Kemba needed. Kemba been going through a couple of battles, and this matchup against the Heat, Boston win it'll be only because of Kemba. I don't think Tatum is going to be able to rise to their cave. Butler's about to put that ass on lock.
I agree.
That's over. Your series is over. Go see the Mouse and Disney. You can your son. Your Eastern Conference final is over. Butler locked them down. The only reason why Boston is going to come out of this is because Walker played good, and Brown came through and ready to play. But Tatum, his fight was over.
Yeah.
Right now, this is Jimmy Butler in the locker room. Y'all think he good?
And this is what you brought.
That's what I love about Jimmy. He didn't even take his clothes off. He like this. Y'all think he good? Can't wait till tomorrow. I'm sleeping in this, y'all. I'm sleeping in this uniform.
And
he that tight.
Yeah, and this is what you bring Kemba for.
Yeah, but I don't know if Kemba gonna be up all night like, yeah, I'm bringing my boys tomorrow. And that's what he needs to have, that mentality to beat this Miami team. He needs to be like, yeah, I'm ready.
Well,
I got out of Charlotte for this.
Yeah.
For this series.
Yeah. This is gonna be interesting to see.
This is it's for this.
Yeah, I agree with
If
you.
I want my name mentioned with those top tier guys, this is it.
This is it. This is
Other than that, you can't talk no more, Kimba.
Yeah. This is it.
This
You're
is
right.
it.
You're right. This is going to be it. Are you still that guy that you was at UConn?
Word. Or are you like, yeah, every time we talk about the best players in the league, we got to mention Kimba, because that's one thing we do, Kimba. He does when we do question him. Ever since Connecticut, he do rise. Every time we question him, he do rise. That's one up we can give him. When his back is against the wall, he not a wrestle out of it. This one gonna be a tough one because Jimmy Butler is the exact same player.
Yeah.
And he got some shooters coming with him that want to do nothing but follow him. They look at Jimmy Butler like, what you want us to do? Dive on the floor? I got you.
Yeah, talk about shooters he do have.
Man, this may be the best one out of the Western final. This East is going to be tough because it has a lot to do with everything.
I didn't realize Kimba was 30 years old too.
Yeah, Kimba has to come with it right now. He has to show Jimmy Butler that I'm the number one on this team, and I'm the reason why we're gonna win.
Yeah. So yeah, this is your time, sir. So before we get out here, we're gonna talk about one last thing.
Let's do it.
College football has been going on for 2 weeks, and it hasn't felt right.
Very weirder than yesterday in the NFL. Why? I don't understand.
Yeah, it hasn't felt right. I tried watching North Carolina and Syracuse. I watched who did Clemson play?
Clemson played Wake Forest.
Wake Forest. I watched a little bit of Georgia Tech game. A lot of ACC games. Cause that's mainly
my boys Notre Dame. Very weird.
Yeah, it's very weird, and it's just I don't know.
Does it? Let me ask you this: are you more of a player if you can play without, or you thrive off crowd?
So, I would say this, and I'm not talking like I was a big time player, but just in my experience playing sports, when you're in the game, I don't hear the crowd. There's moments, maybe when I go to the sidelines, but actual in the game. When I remember playing football, I almost forgot there was a crowd out there.
And the way that football is conducted with the action and the hit it, I understand why you have to zone out to that way.
Yeah.
First of all, for your health, or you don't get knocked out.
Yeah.
You auto got to get into that mind.
Yeah, so I so it's like, so I guess
Because a lot of football players say that, like when I'm running, all I hear is the air out.
Yeah.
They don't hear nothing. I hear a lot of football players say
so
that.
like when I played football, I remember getting in the game, and a lot of times it was just like I heard the coaches.
That's the weird part. Like you can identify coach voice out of all of
this. I heard the coaches.
Right.
I heard the refs. I could hear plays being called. All that. And and I played in a type of offense where I didn't have to be in a huddle because you kind of knew Because I played at that time. I played receiver. I kind of knew I was either running a 9 route or a 3, or like I kind of knew what my role was. So I don't think it make a difference either way. I think defense feeds off more crowd than offense would. Since I was more of an offensive player, so maybe it didn't bother me. But as a spectator at home watching. College football, the pageantry is the fans.
It's the band. It's the
band. It's all of that.
It's Clemson coming and touching the rock, and it's
all
of that.
So when you don't have that, it throws it off a little bit.
Look kind of high schoolish.
Yeah.
Even worse than that, maybe Pop Warner-ish.
Yeah, so it's like, I want to get into it. I want to watch these games. But I know the Big Ten is not playing. I know the Pac-12 is not playing. And so it's like,
it's traditions that goes along with these schools that wasn't attached these weekends. You can attach them.
And now they told the Big Ten, October 17th is the date.
All they thinking about is, I saw them and we missing out some money. Maybe
there's a lot. There's a lot. This goes back to the Rams game we talk about.
Yeah, this goes
there's
back to
money.
Oh snap, we're missing money and maybe we can get it. And that's messed up. They about to play with these kids like that. I'd rather the Big Ten either just keep it but don't do this. Saw what other conference was doing and about to use them for real off the money
and
for money.
And with that being, there's still don't talk about the Pac-12. I guess nobody really gives a shit about the Pac-12.
Right.
But the Big Ten, and here's my thing. By that time, October 17th, most of these schools have been playing 5 or 6 games. So that means the Big Ten is automatically excluded from national championships. All has to be almost, because it's almost unfair.
How you come back with these fresh legs, and what they don't know, it's not even so much a fresh legs. These teams are going to be into their groove. You're going to be rust.
Yeah, they're going to be into a groove playing. I know it's a straight Big Ten schedule. That's what's going to make it fair. But it's like, how do you now take national championship, Heisman? Like Justin Fields had a legit shot at Heisman. Ohio State had a legit shot at national championship.
I mean, talking about like really, they was going to be one of those 4. We can come on.
Yeah, it was about guaranteed.
They was about to be one of those 4.
One of those 4. Now we got Sean Wade, which he probably should have went pro last year, but now he's gonna work with.
And I completely understand his decision.
I don't have a problem with it.
I
think if they would have played on time, he would have played. He would have played. But now we're 3-4 weeks in. Now it's like he might be out of football shape.
By the time y'all come back, it's time for me to get ready for that check, y'all.
Yeah, because the fact of the matter is, if we're not playing the season, probably not practicing, probably sitting around, and believe it or not, a couple weeks not practicing takes you out of playing shape very quickly.
And we're talking about hamstring injuries and things like that.
Yeah, and he playing a position where you backpedal a lot. So I want to see. I would love to see my Buckeyes playing this year, but it's so
they
weird.
Messed it up. Those guys, those presidents and those guys up there, the coaches and all. They really did. It shows that they didn't think this through.
They didn't think this through.
Either they are geniuses, and everybody else that played this Saturday, and those schools about to get sick, and it makes the Big Ten look like a genius, or they took the proper steps to protecting those players and protecting the crowd, and the Big Ten didn't do their homework. That's what we about to see. That they either look like a genius.
Oh yeah, we're about to find. We're definitely about to
find
out.
Or y'all done messed up some kids' lives by doing this.
But this goes back to
because what we got, Oklahoma still came back with 8 players, I believe, was positive.
Yeah, Oklahoma had 8. There's a school that had 10. I can't remember. West Virginia, they suspended a lot of players, but that was for other stuff.
So I'm not gonna completely bash the Big Ten yet, because remember they did this for the protection of the players. So if let's just say Saturday, we just get 2 more Saturdays of college football. And it's just too many players in schools. They all sick. That make Big Ten look like geniuses, right?
It does. It does. I think it's one of those things that we don't know what we're dealing with. And when I mean with that with COVID, I don't know if we're dealing this is the rest of our time. COVID.
So if you're sitting at a table and you're with the I don't know, and you're the president,
You probably have to cancel.
You probably got to cancel.
probably
So
have to
what?
cancel.
So right there, me and you good, B. Why
Yeah.
do this then? The revisit and we're having a meeting today. And
Because I think they looked bad. Justin Fields just came out with a petition.
then send a sorry to the conference, to the teams and all of that. But don't do this.
But also go back to what you said earlier in the show. High school football is playing.
High schools in Ohio, I saw over this weekend, are jumping. I mean, the crowd looked packed. I mean, they're a little space, but they're not. I mean, these kids got on whatever they want to have on. You know what I mean?
Know
what I mean?
I live behind a high school.
Okay, so I don't have to tell you. They're jumping right now. I can see how Justin Fields could be in his room, turn the TV on to Channel 10, and be like, Ohio is jumping with football, but how the cream of the crop ain't playing.
Yeah. I was about to say, I live behind a high school.
I watched 3 high school games this weekend, and the crowd is like, with bands.
Yeah, so I think you have a lot of that going on.
So either Ohio State is about to look like a genius in the Big Ten, or they just messed up some lives.
Yeah, I think it's hard, man.
It's hard.
It's hard.
It's hard. But what I keep saying is, let's stop bashing those people in the Big Ten. Let's wait a minute. Let's wait.
I feel like
because obviously they thought about the kids first.
All the leagues should have came together.
I like that. Don't. This is the type of year that we don't do the Pac-12.
Yeah, everybody.
We all talk because maybe you got a doctor on your side that we don't have on our side that can inform us.
Yeah, I think all the leagues should have spoke because it's so weird. Because even it's still staggered because there's some teams that hasn't played yet. They're not playing until the beginning of October.
Some teams that was supposed to play Saturday and had to cancel Saturday.
Had to cancel Saturday. It's so. I really feel like if they play vacate national championship this year, like
how you do that? B?
Almost,
all right, so where I lived back in our high school, this is the rules they gave the high school. Y'all about to play 5 games, no playoffs, no championship. What are we here for? So it has to be a national championship.
Well,
it has to be.
Yeah.
What are we here for then?
Well, I'm saying because I remember back in.
What am I about to almost get my neck broke for then?
True. But what I mean is, and the reason I say so is because how do you play a national championship game if the big? Let's say Ohio State goes 10-0, whatever. But they're not done playing the regular season games until mid-December. The SEC and the Big 12 been done since end of November.
Let's say, like you said,
so that's like
10 say yes in the next 3 weeks. They say yes. Sorry, y'all have y'all thing. Y'all have your own Big Ten championship this particular year, because just like what you said, y'all won't be eligible for the national championship.
And then goes.
Y'all have a Big Ten championship.
Well, in that case, everybody should be playing for conference championship because
no, the rest of the nation, you make one big tournament. The rest of that said yes, that we're coming in at this time, no more conference stuff. It's just gonna be that tournament with the best 11. Whoever comes out number get a week 1 bye. That's it. And that's who the national championship goes. Army, you get a chance this year too. Everybody, it's not broke down like that. Top 11, and that's what we go with. But if Big Ten say yes within the next 2 weeks, y'all can't be in it. There's too many games went by, too many legs has been pounded. Y'all can't be a part of it. Y'all can have your Big Ten championship, but you can't be a part of the national.
But they want that Big Ten money.
And that's what all this. That's what that showed this weekend.
It's about the money.
Damn, what's the name about to get some money? Notre Dame about to get bread this weekend on all of that.
Yeah, because
Clemson made money this weekend.
Because for 1 year, Notre Dame was part of the ACC.
Mm-hmm.
So they don't get ACC money. And
Clemson made money this year. So I believe those schools and those presidents of those conferences like, yo, maybe we need to, and they said that, we need to talk to some of those people, those doctors over there, because maybe we missing something. But what you don't know is it's too late. It's too late.
Yeah, it's just weird. It's crazy. College football. As bad as we talk about the NFL, at least they was on a court.
Mm-hmm.
So everybody's starting the same week.
Mm-hmm.
They want to see how far we get to go with it.
Give you your choice to opt out. You opt out. That's your choice, but that's what it is.
College football is like, we're going to do this. We're going to do this. And it's like, when they said the MAC football teams wasn't playing, I was really shocked at how much that affected the Big Ten.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, because you remember the Big Ten came out with a schedule, everything, and they're like, no, we're not playing. So it's gonna be interesting the next couple of days. Well, that no.
What got under my skin was we always know these people are using these kids for money. What the Big Ten showed was we're robbing y'all with no mask this time. We're taking a mask off and we're gonna rob y'all. Y'all can see our face.
Let me tell you about money. I don't know what I was looking up yesterday. Doing research for the show, but I came across how much money Ohio State football is worth.
Ridiculous. I've been so it's ridiculous.
Not the university. Mm-hmm. Not the athletic department. Mm-hmm. Ohio State football. Mm-hmm. $1.5 billion.
I looked it up. It was up there with the Cowboys and things like that, man.
No other school's football team is worth more money
because of the people here.
1.5 billion, not million, billion dollars.
And they looked at that loss yesterday, this weekend, while all these other schools was playing, was like, nah, we need some of that back.
I mean, the Ohio State football team really pays for every other sport. It can't. I mean,
I've been looked that up. I've been knew that about Ohio State.
I knew they was worth a lot of money.
The state of Ohio, our heartbeat is the team. The heartbeat, like to keep the state of Ohio breathing, it's because of this team.
I see why Chase Young comes from Maryland up here. Justin Fields.
It's like being in the NFL without being there. For real. No other program I think got it like that.
No, like
no other program got it like that.
I think Texas is the next closest one, but
I say no because they got that Jerry Jones and them Cowboys. Ohio ain't got that.
But as in money, Texas is next in line.
Oh yeah, just as far as cash. I get yes.
Because remember they got their own network, the Longhorn Network.
What was that high school? The stadium was $2 million for a high school.
Yeah.
High school stadium in Texas.
Yeah. So as of money, okay, I think they're just under $1 billion. Mm-hmm.
That Ohio State ain't no joke, man.
That's fucking ridiculous.
Off the tee. And that's why that decision shouldn't have been made so quick.
Yeah.
It's got to be thought through.
Yeah.
You know the L we about to take?
Yeah, because I would...
Take out your calculators, everybody.
I would be like Gene Smith, like, hey,
who want to opt out?
I know you new here. The president, I know you new here. And I know you might want to say it's about academics.
But I don't think you understand where you at.
But let me tell you how this works. Call Gordon Gee. He'll tell you.
It didn't hit me that the Buckeyes wasn't playing until Saturday. And I think that's what made it all weird.
Yeah.
Hold up.
Yeah, because
especially living here.
Yeah, I'm watching games and I'm like,
Buckeyes ain't playing?
And
because they said Big Ten is not playing football, and it sounded like, so what?
Yeah.
But the Buckeyes still supposed to be playing.
and it's funny. Raven Capone, who was here earlier, he just bought me, Jordan, all of us, our little clique, these replica Ohio State championship rings.
Wow.
So, I'm looking at this side, they got this big old replica championship ring.
And it's no game.
No games.
It was weird.
And it's like...
It was weird. I walk around before the games and just feel the vibe of Columbus, and they was pissed off. People was in stores literally saying this. How the hell we have high school?
I ain't go outside
and don't have Buckeye football.
I stayed inside.
We went out to go get something to eat. People was really mad.
I have the luxury right now working from home, like you talk about your wife, because I work for a bank that sent me home to work. I got off work, which is nice because now while I'm at work, I could turn the TV on and watch games. Mm-hmm. It was weird not to see the Buckeyes. I logged off work, found out I didn't have to come up here to do anything for the station, so I stayed home and watched games. But it was like, no Buckeyes.
No Buckeyes.
And
you know what's crazy out here? When you have the women cursing because the game ain't on. This some bullshit. I heard a whole bunch of this some bullshit.
Because you know what? Nobody knows what to do with themselves. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? You used to go if you're not having a party for the game.
It's a Saturday party every day, every Saturday.
Yeah, you're having a party. You go into the bars. You're what they call it, tailgating at the stadium.
And this is the amazing part about Columbus in that game. Color don't matter. Saturday, while the Buckeyes play, color don't matter in Columbus.
It sure
Ohio.
don't. It sure don't.
That's another thing that I love about it. That cause you got the bottoms doing their crazy stuff through Monday to Friday and all that, west and the east side. Saturday, during that game, none of that matters. That used to always amaze me. Like, or it's a truce for 3 hours.
Because I'll tell you, me and my buddy, we used to go to these white bars watching Ohio State game. You go right in there, everybody, yeah.
What drink you want and buying you drinks. It's amazing for that, what it does to this place for 3 hours. And we did not have that. It's amazing, man.
Yeah. So hopefully we'll hear something soon. I thought this was going to be made last night, but they didn't make it. But we'll find out here soon about
They
that.
met 10 o'clock this morning, I believe that was the time. 10 o'clock they met, Big Ten and the president.
Yeah, okay. So we'll see here what's going to happen here in the next few days. Tonight, Monday Night Football is a doubleheader.
Giants and Titans. That's who to pick.
Yeah, Giants, Steelers, and then also Broncos and the Titans.
Mm-hmm.
They're playing they're the nightcap. It's always weird when they do a doubleheader for Monday night games.
Basketball got me a little bit ready for daytime sports now. So, because it used to be weird when they did that the first game, but it seems like since the bubble stuff started, I'm used to watching games all day. So I'm used to it now.
Maybe not this year, but yeah, in the past, yeah.
Right.
This Thursday though, Thursday night football, Browns and the Bengals.
That should be
quick question before we go, because we are over, but who cares? Joe Burrows. Do you
like him?
You like what you saw?
Like him. Team named him captain. That's very rare. Very rare that you name a rookie a captain.
The way he carried himself.
Very mature.
I think I think two things humbled him. They didn't win the job at Ohio State, and Nebraska didn't win, because that's where he wanted to go originally, was Nebraska, because his family has history with Nebraska. They kept the Martinez kid. So I think him being humbled and wanting to prove himself at LSU, I think.
And where he comes from, me and you from Ohio, so we know he don't come from no rich shit.
No, yeah.
He don't come from no, high school with all the glitz and glamour and all that. He comes from a lot of trailer park shit.
Yeah, so
so when you come that way, it humbles you a little bit.
Yeah, so I think he might do something down there in Cincinnati. Maybe turn that franchise around.
I do too. I do believe that. So that's gonna be an interesting game to watch Thursday. We got a Facebook page up. I meant to tell you that. I'm gonna add you to it. Okay, yeah.
The Sportz Budz. You go like the page. Also, if you listen to us on YouTube, we have an app, WTH Media Group app. Download that. We got some more things coming here soon.
Got some guests gonna be lined up too. Real soon.
Yeah, real soon. I've been working on some people too. But we'll be here next Monday.
New time, 4 to 6.
4 to 6, new time.
4 to 6, new time, and I like it. I got way more energy. I like it. 4 to 6.
I ain't gonna like. The 12 noon originally worked for me, but 4 to 6 works too.
It was my medication in the morning. I was like, yo, oh snap, I gotta get to the radio station.
Oh yeah.
I just took like 2 of them.
So, but make sure you join us. Share this if you like it. But it's your boy Killer B, LJ.
All right, next week, y'all.
We'll be here next week.